come to repeat. You think I want any blood get on my carpet?
Study the whole universe. How come this world gets so corrupt and cursed? Things that change us, cause it's not like before. A man's life is combined with disaster and war, for sure. With the nuclear this and the nuclear that, they intend to smash down the world's flag. And they don't care about master's land. But every day man seeking to destroy man. But cause this was never meant to be. Man supposed to dwell in harmony. But because of selfish ways, man creating short mistakes, but in this comfort and strife. What a life, what a life. But in this comfort and strife. What a life.
You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, Maplewood, New Jersey, broadcasting from Essex County. You're listening.
Mankind had the holy first sunrise. This world to him was like a paradise. But up to now, to his ways he never take heed. Now he's at war with himself because of his greed. I read, when they drop the bomb in Hiroshima, in history it is the world's disaster. It's a record of millions of people dead. Yet every day, man is moving a new warhead. It's red, but this was never meant to be. Man supposed to dwell in harmony. But because of selfish ways, man creating short mistakes, but in this comfort and strife. What a life, what a life. But in this comfort and strife. What a life. In these times, but these are the signs of the end of time.
Yes. Let me say a special hello to all the WZYE 95.9 FM listeners and all those who joining us in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM of course, we say a special, special welcome to you. And we thank you so kindly for joining us this beautiful 9/11 evening here in the United States of America. And to all of you locked on all parts of the world, we welcome you to WZYE 95.9 FM. And let me bring in 1/3 of the other half here, 1/3 of the other 3/3, I said. Diana Waveney Benskin McDonald. Diana, how are you? I see Diana have two avatars here, boy. Diana? Let me see. Okay, all right. Let me add this one to there. Hi, Diana. Hello, Diana. Okay. Anyway, Diana is not there as yet, right? I wanted to play this other song for us before we start here in the village with the dark triplets. We're gonna have, Imam Yasin Abu Bakr joining us in about 5 or 10 minutes, and I can see that, he has already actually, he's already in the background waiting to join us. Welcome, Waveney, Diana Benskin McDonald, boy. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome,
Yeah,
everyone in the chat.
yeah.
See, I got on my third eye today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Diana, we have this is going to be a very interesting night because we are having Imam Yasin Abu Bakr joining us live and direct from TNT, and this is in light of
Is this the father or the son?
the father. This is the father. This is the actual Imam Yasin Abu Bakr joining us, and I mean, I know his son, and we have been going back and forth, and so I reached out to him, and we want to thank him so very kindly, for reaching out to his dad, and his dad decided he's going to come and join us. So it will be it will be fantabulous and splendiferous to hear directly from Imam Yasin Abu Bakr. So stay tuned. He's already in the background. I can see him waiting in the background. So let me say a little bit of let's get the things out of the way that we normally get out of here in the village with the dark triplets and WZYE 95.9 FM. Before we get to Imam Yasin Abu Bakr. Lana joined us today at 4:31 p.m. You hear that? She break the record, eh?
All right, Lana.
Yes, she said, bless, good afternoon, I reach first. Right? And Nadia was right behind her. Nadia was at 4:38 p.m.
Okay.
So Nadia, welcome. To Keisha, welcome. Fish sticks, welcome. My dog boy.
Hello, Curtis.
Curtis Monteshatu. Curtis here inside, boy. Curtis from Chumaka Clavantilias, boy. Curtis.
Hello, so, Brittany. Liam Dizzle, Brittany.
That's Dizzle. That's Brittany.
So Liam Dizzle, good evening, everyone. Brittany in the house.
All right, so that's Brittany. Albert Montano, welcome. Albert, you inside early tonight, boy.
We have a new person.
Russell Santana.
Give me some, boy. Give me some Samba Patty, Santana. Samba Patty.
Yeah. That's a big one, boy. That's a big one.
Yeah. Ron, good afternoon, Ron, the MC. Good afternoon, good night, Ron, the MC. How are you?
Say hello to Russell. Russell, where you joining us from? We like to know where people joining us from. Rose, welcome you inside.
Hello, Jenny. Hello, Vonnie.
Rishi, welcome back, boy. We miss you. We ain't seeing her a lot. Ain't seeing her. Why, boy? Cindy, boy. Cindy, I'm not missing this.
Hello, Rajvi. How are you doing?
Breadsticks. I mean cheese stick. Cheese stick inside.
Today, 9/11. Not to keep the Imam waiting, but I want to let you guys know on 9/11, 20 years ago, I was in Manhattan. I used to work at a company opposite the Empire State Building on the 16th floor, and they evacuated us. I lived in Brooklyn at the time, So I had to head to that part of Manhattan to get out of Brooklyn. So we were heading to the Manhattan Bridge, I believe, and the building collapsed and they turned us around and had sent us over the Brooklyn Bridge. I got some of that dust on me. When we got over the bridge, they rinsed us off. I was very petrified. I had to buy a pair of sneakers because I had high heels. So I had to buy a pair of sneakers too for that long trek from up 34th Street area all the way down and then to Brooklyn. And a taxi ride from the lower end of Brooklyn that usually cost about $7 that day became $25. So you talk about price gouging in the time of crisis. Man to man is so unjust. You don't know who to trust. So it was a rough day. I was traumatized by it all. I did not return to the job that I had in Manhattan. I tried to go back immediately. I tried to go back 2 weeks later, but every time I heard a siren, I jumped and I just gave up working in Manhattan altogether and found work in Brooklyn and Queens or the environs. So that was my 9/11 story.
Yeah, Diana, great. You know, Diana, you take me back. But let me just get these things out of the way. Run DMC, welcome. Vonnie Roberts here inside. Jenny C. Paul, welcome. Fish sticks, boy. Jenny C. Paul, run. Good night, run.
Hello,
Winston
the
Renwick,
Queen.
you inside. Raj V, boy. Yeah. Raj V. Correct is right. We want to take Rajvi, that's a very good suggestion. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's take a moment of silence to remember those that suffered on 9/11 20 years ago. Feel like it was yesterday. So, folks, let's just take a moment of silence here on WZYE 95.9 FM, you know, for those who suffered on 9/11 20 years ago. Thank you guys so very kindly. Raj, excellent idea. Jacqueline Gajraj Singh, where you joining us from, Jacqueline? Let us know. Not cakes inside, boy. Well, let's say hello to Jacqueline. Say hello to Jacqueline. Say hello to Jacqueline.
She's one of my friends on Facebook, I believe.
She's one of your friends. All right. Richie inside. Let me see who else. But Queen, you're inside. Welcome. Yeah. So let me give you all my story quicker because we're gonna bring in Imam Yasin Abu Bakr. He's already in the background waiting to join us. Right? I worked at the New York Stock Exchange, and my wife, Adrian Jones, welcome as well. And my wife worked in the World Trade Center. So I took the PAR train on 9/11, and I went through the World Trade Center in order to go to work at the New York Stock Exchange. So I used to get to work for like 7 a.m. in the morning. You know, I used to be the first one in the office. So I actually passed through that World Trade Center that morning in order to get to work. And my wife somehow was not in work that day, right? Because she worked in the same building and they work on like, I think the 52nd floor, some floor way high up there, right? And at a certain point in time in the morning, we just hear boom and everybody says, you know, we have to get out. And when we went outside, was basically the place was full of ash, you know, and we had to almost walk up to 34th Street to get the train to take us back to New Jersey. And I got the last train out of New York in order to get home that day. And once on our way home on the train, we saw the building collapsed. Right on your way home, I mean, it was unbelievable. It was really unbelievable. It was something that was very difficult for us to deal with, you know, and you know, but we had to deal with it.
And when walking over the Brooklyn Bridge, there was rumors afoot that the bridge was lined or laced with explosives. So I looking to see where to jump in the water, so I will land in the water. I could swim a bit and float, so I don't land on nothing hard and hurt myself. It was a scary thing. It was scary.
Natasha Boris from Tobago, welcome. We're glad you're inside, Natasha. Let's say hello to Natasha. So, folks, Adrian Jones, welcome as well. So, folks, let's see if we can bring in Imam Yasin Abu Bakr. Hello, Imam. Imam?
Yes, hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hello. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are hearing you loud and clear, sir. Loud and clear. We are hearing you loud and clear, sir. And we want to thank you, and we want to thank your son for, taking this great opportunity here for us. In that I called him about 2 hours ago, and your son is a friend of mine, so we really appreciate him. Found, Abu Bakr, and he said he was going to ask you, and you wonderfully, decide to come on. So let me just give you a little bit. It's in the village with the dark triplets, right? It's DAG. The D is Diana. Diana Benskin is considered to be the storm. I am Anselm. Anselm is considered to be the Flash or Wall Street. We have another gentleman by the name of Gary. Gary is considered to be the Phantom. And then there's a fourth person, who is considered to be Tommy. He is considered to be the outside child, but the ladies in the chat call him the love child. But right now, it's only Diana and Anselm with you. So we want to thank you. First, sir, how can we address you? Do we address you as Imam Yasin Abu Bakr? How do you want us to address you?
Yeah, that is fine. That is fine.
Okay, yeah, because we hear like full respect. When our guests come in, we like to give them full respect.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So Imam, people have kind of concern with what they heard from you on Friday. What was the straw that broke the camel's back in order for you to come out and did that press conference that you did?
Well, first of all, I want to greet you with the greetings of Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. I am a Muslim, so yes. I want to greet you first. And secondly, it was not a press conference, it was the regular Friday sermon, which is called the khutbah of the Jummah. So it was not a press conference.
Okay. So from that, most of us who really don't know, right, felt it was like a press conference. And, you said certain things there, in the speech, right? And, for us who live here in the United States of America and people who live across Trinidad and Tobago, it kind of gives them a flashback to the 1990s, right? And people were very concerned about that. Looking back at it today, Imam Yasin Abu Bakr, is there anything you think that happened in that? What do you call it again? I just want to make sure I call it correctly.
It is the khutbah of the Friday sermon, or the Friday sermon for Jummah. Okay,
so could I say the Friday sermon? Could I call it the Friday sermon?
You can say the Friday sermon, yes.
Right. So in that Friday sermon, from what came out of that Friday sermon, many people across the world were kind of concerned if they may eventually relive 1990.
Well, no, because the subject matter was not about 1990. The subject matter was about the education system and some other atrocities that has happened recently and continue to happen. For instance, the killing of several people by the police, extrajudicial killings by the police. And while in America you can say that Black Lives Matter because it's white policemen killing Black people, in Trinidad we cannot say Black Lives Matter because it is Black policemen that are killing Black youths on a daily basis. I mean, extrajudicial killing. And that is part of what the sermon was. The rest of it was to do with the education system and revising the whole education system as it exists. Because we are involved in education and we have schools. And for 40 long years, the successive governments have refused to give us one single dime for our schools. In the meantime, every other religious, every other body has been given money for the teachers, schools has been built for them, and we built our own schools without a single dime. And from our schools, we have produced doctors, lawyers, engineers, whatever you want to call it, we have produced from our schools for 40 long years without one single dime from any government at all, successive governments. And we feel that we have come to the end of that. We are no longer going to do that. We're no longer going to stand by and pay taxes like everybody else and witness that one group in particular, the results of the SCA came out on Thursday, and one group of people for the last 10 years has been at the top of the table. The first 10 students are always Indians, and this is a great disrespect to us because we pay taxes like everybody. We're the only African school in Trinidad, of the whole of Trinidad, and there are numerous Indian schools, there are numerous Roman Catholic schools, there are numerous Anglican schools, there are numerous Presbyterian schools, there are numerous schools that the government built for those people. But because we are, well, I don't want to use the word black Muslims, but because we are Africans, and we are the only Africans in Trinidad that have a school, then we have been discriminated against for 40 years. We have not been given one single dime to pay our teachers. And not only that, but we have not received any kind of monies for the building of our school. We built that school all on our own, all by ourselves. And we feel that it is a gross injustice to continue this anymore, because we see what is happening with our children, with the black youths of this country. They're killing each other in the gang warfare because of their lack of opportunities for skills. I mean, we just had to do a lot of the exam was done via the email, and there are many parts of the society where black people live where they don't have access to internet, they don't have laptops, so they are at a total disadvantage. And you can see that reflected when you look at the results of the schools. Like again, I'm saying, I'm not blowing my own horn, but the music is sweet, so you might probably be able to appreciate it. From our schools, my own family, I have a doctor, a lawyer, a professional footballer who is also a first-class degree from Kingston University in business and finance. I have 3 teachers. I have an accountant. So all these accomplishments, this is my own immediate family accomplishments from our school. So we feel it is a gross injustice to continue like that. Earlier this year, this matter came to the attention of the Prime Minister, and I had a conversation with him, and he thought that it was not right and that something should be done. So what he has done is given us a stipend, a small stipend, until what is called the Concordat is reviewed. And if we are allowed, after 40 years of trying to get into the Concordat, if we are allowed into Concordat, then we will receive some kind of payments for our teachers. That is that part of the education. The next part is that the content of education, the content has absolutely or almost nothing to do with African knowledge. Everything is other than educating black people as regards to their roots, their heritage, their culture. And so that is a gross disadvantage to us. And we're saying that should not and will not be able to continue as long as we're here. We're going to do whatever is necessary to ensure that injustice is corrected. As you know, the UN has said this is African, the year of African.
Year of the African.
24. And so we we are trying to do all what we can. We also are making a preparation to present to the various colonial masters reparation, so some measure for reparation, because Trinidad is not a nation. If you are familiar with Trinidad, there are different groups. There's the Syrians, there's the Lebanese, there's the whites, there's the ex-French Creoles, there's the French, and there's the Indians, and then there's the blacks, there's the Africans, right? So this is not a nation. This is not a country where everybody is working harmoniously for the benefit of the country. That is absolutely nonsense. This is a country where everybody is concerned with their own welfare at the expense of everybody else. And we are at the bottom of the ladder. We are the 98% of the population, the prison population. 92% of the prison population is young Africans. 92. And I worked in the international community for 28 years. I worked in Libya. I worked with Mr. Farkan for many, many years, 25 years, all over Africa. And I have been able to judge places that we have visited, more than 100 countries, by the prison population. And in Trinidad, the prison population is horrendous. The conditions are worse than animals. That we are. You have 8 people in a cell that measures 8 by 4. There's no bed. There's no running water, and you are locked up in a poorly ventilated place for 23 hours of the day, and then you are let out for 1 hour every day. Right? These are innocent people, presumably, because they're not guilty. They have not been convicted, so they are on remand. And they're let out for 1 hour every day. And these things must be brought to an end. Several times there is a particular prison on Frederick Street. Several people have visited, international people, and have recommended the closure of this concentration camp. Today, nothing has been done. Quite recently, last week, we had a situation where there is reportedly police and army, a special squad that is involved in disciplining prisoners who are on remand. Now that is unlawful according to the Constitution. Only prisoner officers are allowed in the prison. But somebody, I don't know, the Minister of National Security or the police or whoever it is, have put this special army police squad who are fully masked at all times, no regimental number, you cannot identify them, and they are in horrendous condition. We posted up, and I can make available to you those posts, right? Where the men were shot. There were several spent shells on the ground. There were men who bleeding from wounds that they have gotten beaten by these people, these so-called masked people. And then there's also the condition where there's no running water in this facility. And
Imam, this is in the prisons you're talking about? Imam, you're talking about in the prisons, yes?
Yes, this is in the prisons at the moment as we speak.
Is that Royal Frederick? Is that the
the first part I was telling you about is the Royal Jail in Frederick Street that has been recommended to be closed. It's not a jail, it's a concentration camp. There's no beds, there's no water, there's no toilet. Imagine in 2021, you have a cell with 8 men measuring about 8 by 10. 8 men in a cell for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years on remand, and there's no toilet in the cell. There's a pail which these men have to use. You know what it is to inhale the feces that is in this pail from 8 men for 23 hours a day, and then until next morning when you are allowed to go and empty that pail. That is what obtains at the moment as we speak. I was speaking about the other facility where they are supposed to be housing prisoners that are on remand and giving trouble again. On remand means that you have not been sentenced, you are innocent until proven guilty. And so all these atrocities are there before. We publish these pictures where men have to flush the toilet and then take a cup to get water out of there in order to drink from the toilet that you flush and to put in the bottles that they are allowed.
But Imam, how come have government come and government gone and they have not done anything about this in the year 2021? We are now in 2021. What is it?
I can show you the visuals. I can show you all the postings. I will make available to you them.
We will like that. Absolutely. But what is it? Doesn't the government have the testicular fortitude in order to change what's going on in the prison? Or if it's just leave them there because they are considered to be criminals?
No. I told you the prison population is 92% Africans. And I'm speaking specifically of how Africans are treated in Trinidad. Every other group have a bank. All the other groups have a bank with which they could get seed money. The Africans have no bank. They have no access to any seed money for entrepreneurship. But let me finish with the prison, right?
Okay.
The commissioner, when he was interviewed, he said that I was a liar. And then the next day, the head of the prison association, the president of the prison association, that the commissioner was the liar because he visited the particular facility where these people are held on the 1st of September, and they were living in conditions not fit for animals. I can send you all these postings. I will make an effort to send you all these postings. So I'm not giving you any jargon. I'm giving you the proof to what I say, physical and otherwise. So we feel that something has to be done, and in the last 9 people have been murdered in the last 5 days, all Africans. This is an atrocity. And about 3 of them killed by the police, so reputedly killed by the police, or some mistaken identity, some, of course, the police denial. But this kind of treatment against Africans, must be brought to an end. In Trinidad, we can't even have a protest to say Black Lives Matter because there's black policemen who are killing black youths. So to say that, Black Lives Matter. In Trinidad and Tobago, Black lives do not matter. And that's where we're saying that must come to an end. This is what is happening. We also have other issues where the content of the examinations, right, for the schools is totally absent of African history, totally. So we don't know, for instance, that Mansa Musa is the richest African the richest human being that ever lived. And that Donald Trump has no money compared to Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa, the king of Mali, went to the Hajj. And everywhere he went, he eradicated poverty. That is our history. That is proven history. We are not taught that the first university in the world is in Africa, Timbuktu. We are not taught anything like that. We're not taught that as Muslims, the Crusades came into Jerusalem, into Damascus, and killed all the Muslims, and killed the Christians because they say if they were really Christian, they wouldn't be able to live side by side for 100 years. And then the great Salahuddin the Great came and drove the entire Crusades back to Europe, drove everybody, including Richard the Lionheart, back to Europe. We don't have any of that content in our schools. Rather, we have a set of stupid things written by people that has no relevance to our development, no relevance to our culture, no relevance to our history. And we're saying that has to change. Also,
So Iman, let me just quickly, there's a question in the chat because we do get people in the chat. Hold that thought. The question is, Iman Abu Bakr, about the SEA result. Do you think it was justified to all children?
No, definitely not. And that is why yesterday I tried to console the many parents who called me crying because they were disappointed with the placements of their children. Because sometimes they zone children, which is completely out of the district that they're living. And the parents don't even have, cars to drive them. And that too is a very bad thing. But let me explain you that. The schools that receive all the facilities, the Indian schools, the Presbyterian schools, the Roman Catholic schools, the Anglican schools. They are in what is called the Concordat, right? So when the results come out, they can select 20% of the students without any passes or anything. They don't care if they were last in the exam. As long as their father has a business or their mother is wealthy or they have a tent rental or something like that, so that the school, whenever they have a facility, they can get 10 or 100 tents for free, they're going to take your child. And that child has done far less than, not my children, but far less than other children. So this is this disparity where that is concerned. Now, let me elaborate a little further on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have children, who live in one district, and what they do is they zone children, right? And if you go to the Ministry of Education to question the marks, you cannot see the marks of your children. Now, this has been my own experience, and I'm telling you, they will not allow you to see the marks that your child make. You would only see what they publish, but you will not see what your child really made for the school of choice of the child.
Why is that? Why is that? Why is that, Imam? Why is
because if you see that, you will understand that your child should have been placed in a different school than the one they're placed in. We have schools that are considered prestige school. My daughter passed for Providence Convent, where the nuns are. And because we didn't live too far from that place, she was refused entry because she wore a hijab. We went to the court, and the court ordered that no child must be debarred because of religion. So the court ordered the school to take her in. They refused the Providence school, which is run by the nuns, the Roman Catholic nuns, refused to take the child and refused to obey the order of the court. I'm giving you my own personal experience, and that devastated my child, my 11-year-old child. So we had to settle for a different school of a lower standard. However, today that same child is a medical doctor in Jamaica and specializing in anesthesia. So I'm just giving you an example of the kind of discrimination that we have against African people, and especially African people who are Muslims. The discrimination all through, right across the board, right? I'm prepared to take any questions as we go along.
How are you doing? How are you doing?
This is
Imam.
Gary. Well, Gary.
Go ahead.
All right. It seems to me now what you're saying, there's a lot of truth to what you're saying, but there also seems to be some animosity with the scores being children of Indian descent. And why is that? I mean, if the kids did well, what's the problem?
When you say animosity with who? With us? We don't have any animosity. We are the only African in Trinidad that have a school. We don't have any problem. And we're saying for 40 years, all the Indian schools has been paid fully and all the facilities. And we're saying, as an African school for 40 years, we have never been paid. Our teachers have never been paid, nor have we gotten 1 cent, 1 single cent from the government to build our schools. The government built schools for them.
And I agree with you, and I think that is very wrong. But what I'm saying is, there seems to be some disenchantment that the fact that the children who scored the highest in the country are East Indian, and I want to know why is that an issue?
That's the last 10 years, because they have all the facilities. They have the laptops, they have the businesses, they have access to the prestige school. For instance, when you are registering for your school of choice, you have to say where your mother work and where your father work. They have the schools have that information. So they're not going to take Tom, who is a welder. They're not going to take his child into one of the prestige school when they want to take a child whose father is a tent rental so that they could get 100 tents when they're having a festival. And that's what I'm saying. That is right. That is not right. That is wrong. They can just choose 20%. They have the right. These denominational schools, they have the right to choose 20% of the best children who marks. If children want to register for our schools, they cannot. The government will not let them register for our school. And we have taken this for 40 years, and we're saying we brought this. This is now an end. Earlier this year, I told you I had a conversation with the Prime Minister, the Honorable Keith Rowley, and because we put this case to him and we told him we cannot go any further without that, he addressed the cabinet on this matter and asked, why is this anomaly taking place? And they could not give him an answer except that, well, some stupid thing about some 1990 stupid. He said, these people are entitled to the privileges of anybody else. And they have an excellent record of students that they are producing. So for 40 years, we have not given them a single penny. We have not given them a single cent. They're the only African school in Trinidad and Tobago. Why is this continuing? So the Prime Minister made a recommendation to the Ministry of Education that a stipend be given, a small stipend be given to our teachers until they are now reviewing the Concordat, until they review the Concordat. And if we are allowed to go into the Concordat, then our teachers will be paid. That is the situation at the moment, right? So I'm willing to take your question.
Go ahead, Anna.
Well, I can speak firsthand for the disparity in the schools, because I myself was a victim of that shifting around back in the 70s. I did pass for a very good school, but because of my name on my birth paper, they shuffled me into, and the name on the common entrance writing, they shuffled me into a junior secondary school, and it took 3 years to figure it out, but I still ended up in the high school, which was St. Augustine Girls High, that I passed for initially. Right. I ended up there, but and I saw the disparity in the education that I received at the junior sec versus St. Augustine Girls High. So there is, I will admit, there is a disparity. Nobody can tell me. It's the caliber of teaching, the type of subjects, the environment, the ambiance, everything is different in these let's call them, better, higher schools. It's much different.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that should be,
And it continues. And
it continues.
That it has to come to an end. That we no longer going to let this happen, because we are paying taxes like everybody else. And since we're the only African school in the country, we should not be treated like that. And we built our school. The government built schools for them. Without a single dime from any government, we built our own school. We had to close the school because we couldn't pay the teachers.
And as a result of that, one of my sisters lobbied hard for her daughter to go to Asja Girls. Yes. She did not want her daughter going to any other school but Asja Girls.
Okay. Well, Asja Schools is one of the many Indian schools that were built by the government, and they have many schools that all their teachers are paid by the government, but with my taxpayers' money, and the members of my community and Africans who are allowed. And I'm saying, children are not even allowed when you're making your choice of school. They're not even allowed to make a choice in our school. That's how discriminatory this thing is. How can you justify such such discrimination? How?
So your school was around in the 70s?
Yeah, we have had that school for 40 years.
If I didn't know, I would have asked to come there.
But they would not let you come. That is what I'm saying. The government do not allow children to take our school as a choice of school.
Well, that should not be.
That. And also, although we are doing the very set curriculum, because we have to compete in the same exams.
But Mr. Bakr, not only African children has been discriminated against this system. Indian children were discriminated too. We were sent to schools maybe 40 miles from our home.
Yes, I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt about that. But I'm saying, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, Imam. Go ahead.
No, I am saying that the Indians have several schools, a number of schools, both Asia, TIA, TML, all those are different Muslim organizations. The Hindus have several schools. They have excelled because they have the best teachers. They have the best facilities. Their parents are wealthy. They can afford the laptops. Like this recently, you know, we've had to do the exam by virtual because how many African children were not able to do this exam because they did not have a laptop, because where they live in Silot, in Beetham, in Mova, in Laventil, on the line in Marbella, they don't have access to internet. How many children has been well, shut out of the examination process because they were not able to compete, because they did not have the instruments in order to compete.
And the Prime Minister himself said that Africans are not...
At the moment as I speak, that is what obtains. And it has not changed.
But this is happening with the majority of our independence ruled by an Afro-led party, and they always promote race in our country.
Well, well, you see, that's the problem. I just explained to you that that is not a nation. We are several groups, and each group works for its own interests at the expense of everybody else, and we are last.
What I'm seeing is
before everybody.
But listen, right? I mean, Gary, you see, I think when people say promote race, people go towards the PNM. And I will give you an example, Gary. Just recently, the UNC put out a report in the checklist. And their second article in the checklist was stating that Dr. Ek Williams is not the father of the nation. If you are trying to bring people together, why would you put out a statement like that, that Dr. Ek Williams is not the father of the nation?
But what I'm saying to you, for the history of our independence, you from Chumaka Laventil, but you haven't had an idea how much discrimination the rest of the country went through.
Gary, I'm not, that's not my point. My point is this. If you are a party and your interest is to bring the people together, why would you put out a report in your online magazine stating that Dr. Ek Williams is not the father of the nation? Why?
We will need the UNC to define that, and we will get some of them on board to clarify that. Maybe Mr. Bakr himself could take that up with them on the ground there while he's there. But what my concern is that we have seen through our political history, right? The promotion of one race against the other, and then you're seeing civil service jobs, but mostly of people of African descent, right?
Gary, let me don't go down that road. Let me don't go down that road, guys. Seriously, let me don't go down that road. I'm Gary. But listen, Gary, we have Imam Yasin Abu Bakr here. We have the Imam here. Let's talk to the Imam, and then we could discuss that after.
Yeah,
because we have the Imam.
He's a senior person in our country. He would have more knowledge than any one of us. The reason I'm raising it is because he is older than all of us. He's a senior person. He would have more knowledge than all of us. Why it is these things happen, that the African people in the country have found themselves in so much difficulty under a government like this. Maybe Mr. Bakr can explain to us, being that we have him here, what is the reason for all of this?
Okay.
That is why I'm heading at. That's why I'm heading at.
All right.
He's more experienced than all of us. He has been physically there in the country, and he can explain to us why it is that communities that are more Afro-based is suffering in so many ways and mistreated in so many ways under a party that has ruled the country and dominated the country and has the control of all the decisions in the country.
But Gary, not only Afro people are suffering. Everyone is suffering right now.
No. But he's dealing with his community right now. I'm happy you brought that point up because
the question is that the PNM has ruled the country for a number of years, and they are considered to be, by many people, to be a black party. Yet, the black people in Trinidad and Tobago is at the bottom or in the sub-basement, you know, when we talk about economics in Trinidad and Tobago. And he's asking, why is that?
Why is that? And I mean, when you see Petrotrin had a majority, and the oil money, in fact, the Indians used to tell them they wouldn't be able to live on oil and gas all these years when they were suffering, the Indian farmers. Mr. Bakr is more senior than us. He would have more knowledge than us. to clarify certain things for us.
First of all, I do not subscribe to racism. If you know my wives, I have a mixed community. One is Indian, one is Indian Chinese. So one is look like a French Creole, one is African. So you know that I do not subscribe to racism. I would say, however, and when the emancipation, 1882, when the emancipation came, the Africans tried to do some entrepreneurship for themselves. And the government of the day made a law which was called the Persistent Idlers Act, forcing them to go back on the plantation to work for absolutely nothing. When the slavery ended, the slave masters was paid for every slave that they had, as opposed to you, the Indian people. You didn't have to go through that. You came to Trinidad and you had conditions in which you could work. We didn't have any conditions. Our condition was chains on our feet and on our hands and 24 hours a day work from could see to can't see, from the time you could see until you can't see. That is not your condition. You came here as indented workers. You had contracts. You were allowed to do things that we weren't allowed to do. I'm not making any discrimination. I congratulate the Indian students. For the last 10 years. They have topped undisputedly. They have topped the classes. No question about that. There has been no Africans who could match the excellence in the education system. But we also...
Why is that? Well, why is that? Why is that? I mean, humans are equally capable. Why is that? What is the lack?
Because to me, I would say they have the assets and they have the qualities, they have the things, they have the tools in order to be successful.
But
that's what I would say.
Not all Indian children have that. Not all Indian children have that.
I just explained to you that there are some schools who are considered prestigious schools. You have Howard, you have Harvard, you have Yale, you have schools that are prestigious, right? So children would aspire to go to that school because of the level of the academics or the teachers also like that. In our country, we have schools that are considered prestigious. And that's where the problem is. When it comes to the selection for the prestigious schools, that is where the problem starts. Because the school board can select any child whose parents are business people, and although your child made more marks, but your child would have to go to a junior secondary school because your father is a welder or is unemployed and your mother and cannot contribute to the school's welfare. That is the problem. The discrimination is right there in the problem, right? As opposed to the Indians. The Indians had the advantage of the Presbyterian schools that came from Canada and assisted all of them. They got many of them, got scholarships to Canada, many of them. Nobody came to help the Africans. If I were to count now, I could say among the Indian schools, there could be about 50 Indian schools or more, I'm sure, right? It only have one African school, which is our school, which we had to build ourselves. How do you compare that? How could you compare that when the same PNM government, if you look at the present ministers in the PNM government, you realize that only 2 of them is in the front bench in the main ministry. Only 2. The rest are Indians. Whatever else, mulatto, you could call them what they want. But they're not the main minister. The minister of health is an Indian. The attorney general is an Indian mixed up with something. The minister of finance.
Minister of finance.
Yeah. Then the
Minister of Energy. Minister of
Minister
Energy.
of Works.
And Minister of Energy.
Minister of Local Government. They're all Indians. So how you calling this the PNM party? The Africans have nobody to represent them. And that's why I'm saying we need to bring an end to that. Somebody has to step up to represent us.
And Imam, I want you to stay on that point because I think it's important for people to understand is that you have come to the point where you are talking about this thing is about education of the people and the discrimination of the education system in Trinidad and Tobago. And what you are saying, the time has come for that to stop. The time is now for there to be equality in the education. And that is the point you were trying to make. Well, let me not put words in your mouth. Was that the point you were trying to make?
That is the point I am making, not trying to make. That is the point I am making. You know what I had to do to console some of the parents? That I had to tell them about some of the great men. Because of course, in the thing, nobody. And I told them about Thomas Edison, who made the light bulb. These things never appear in the examination. So the African children don't know nothing about themselves, nothing about the history, but you will see about Vijay Naipaul, who is an Indian. You will see many of the books who are written written by Indians, and that is the disparity right there. That there is the Indians, the Africans have a low self-esteem because it's not in the education system that is supposed to prepare them to come to deal with life. And that is what I'm saying. It has to change. The curriculum has to change. The people who are correcting the people. Yes.
Go ahead, sir. And Imam, whenever worldwide, whenever there is I don't want to say agenda, but a podium is taken to enlighten and empower and African people, the response to it is it's a race issue. We are going against other races. Yet you have the Chinese association, you have the Indian association, you have everybody has a podium to enlighten and empower their races. But whenever there is an association to empower, enlighten African people, it is labeled that we are against other races. And I don't. Why do you think that is so?
I don't think that's so either, Diana. I think the issue here is that if you go about it.
One moment, Gary. One moment.
I am extremely glad that you raised that point. Do you know that 17 European countries, including Israel, if you were to say that there is no Holocaust, that you would be in prison, that you would including Italy, France, Germany, all the major. If you were just to say that there was never a Holocaust, right? You would be in prison, you would be charged with a criminal act, including Israel. But if who says anything about the Holocaust of this African slavery? Who says anything? And which country which political leader anywhere in the world is coming and say, if you were to say that there was never an African Holocaust, which meaning the slave trade, the Atlantic slave trade, then you would be committing an offense. Who would say that? Look at them. Look at these spars all over the world. People have taken a position. You cannot say that there was no Holocaust. And people are just saying, we dismiss slavery, man. Slavery never existed, and wherever that's past and gone. Well, a tree will die as long as it does not have a root. And that is what happened. They're killing the roots. So the trees are dying. The children do not know anything about their history.
So Imam, someone asked, yes, absolutely. Imam, someone asked, who should be blamed for the poor education system, the people or the government?
The government is the one who sets the education system, the agenda for the education system, not the people.
But if the people don't stand up, like how you taking a stand here right now, right? If the people didn't stand up for the things that's going wrong over 59 years of our independence, I mean, like my thing is silence is encouragement to continue the abuse, right? But what I'm saying to you is, what you have done, you have created a structure to provide education, which is something I see very important. Right?
The only African in the whole of Trinidad and Tobago with a school. How you could rationalize that? How?
But what I'm saying to you is, you took the right decision.
then the governments that be should be glad that there's at least one African with a school, at least one. But the others have, if you put there's hundreds of other schools, secondary, primary schools, hundreds of other schools that are not one of them built or owned by an African. How you and they own the African school, you refuse to pay them. And we pay taxes like everybody else. You refuse to pay the teachers, you refuse to assist them in any way. I mean, how you can justify that? You cannot justify that. Yeah.
Imam, so do you think, anyway, quick, someone says the Kwame Ture Educational Center in Laventille. What about this institution? Kwame Ture was Stokely Michael.
Institution?
The Kwame Ture Educational Center in Laventille. Someone asking a question. What about this institution?
Kwame Ture is a personal friend of mine. We grew up together until he migrated to the United States of America. And I was in Ghana 2 weeks before he died, and myself and Akbar Mohammed, who is the representative of Nation Islam, we went to the president, Rollins, and he chartered a plane for us to go to see my colleague, Kwame Ture. Well, he's called Kwame Ture, but he was Stokely Carmichael, to see him in Guinea-Conakry. As a matter of fact, I got malaria. So bad was the condition in Guinea-Conakry and the facilities that were provided for the time. So I know what I'm telling you about. I worked in Africa for 28 years. I've traveled from Russia all the way to Afghanistan to Iran. I've traveled for 28 years. I know what I'm telling you. I know what is discrimination. I know what is racism.
So, Imam, we want you to hold that thought for 1 minute. We got to go for a quick station identification. It's going to be about 10 seconds, and we'll be right back with you. Of course, we have with us Imam Yasin Abu Bakr with us tonight, and we are having a very spirited, wonderful discussion here. It's in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. Of course, we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. Let's go for a quick station identification, and we'll be right back. Stick and stay, Iman. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
And of course, we are back with you. It's in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. Iman, I think what the person was talking about, they were talking about the Kwame Ture Center that's in Prisgala and Laventille. They were asking, what about that institution?
That is, we are both brothers. That is Dr. Brother David Mohammed. And up to last week, we spoke in preparing a document for reparation for slavery. That is Kwame Ture. That Kwame Ture, it is run. He is one of the members of the Nation of Islam. He is Dr. David Mohammed. He's my personal friend. He's my personal brother. And up to last week, we were preparing a document for reparation for slavery.
Yeah, I know Dr. Ahmed very well, and we had him here on the program here in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE.
Yes, he's a very good brother.
Yes, very
progressive brother.
Very, very progressive brother. So, Iman, do you have a timeline for when you expect change to happen? What is the timeline for change with respect to this system, this education system that you came out on Friday and talked about? What is your timeline?
Well, change is a universal principle of constant development. Huh? You have to change in order to grow. You know that. So it is a work in progress. It is a continued struggle against slavery and it's bordering on apartheid, because there are some places in Trinidad and Tobago where Africans cannot go. One of our members who was
Why is that? After 59 years of independence, why it is that certain places African people cannot go?
Well, you if you are Trinidadian, you should know why.
I mean, when I lived in Trinidad, I never saw it. So, I mean, you're older than me. That's why I'm asking you.
Where did you live?
Where in Trinidad?
Yeah.
I live all over Trinidad. But what I'm saying to you is...
Tell me one place that of all the many places, tell me one of the many places.
St. Augustine.
St. Augustine is one of the prestigious areas. Since St. Augustine is one of the areas that the Indians constituency are. They win that seat all the time. It is a built, St. Augustine is a built up area. It's not a ghetto. It's not a ghetto like Lavanty. It's not a ghetto like John John. It's not a ghetto like Beetham. It's not a ghetto like Heliard. It's not a ghetto like none of them.
But what I'm saying to you, it's okay. But what I'm saying to you, why is these places became a ghetto? Why is that? Why did that happen?
Well, let me explain to you. The people who live in those areas don't even know how they got there. The first capital of Trinidad and Tobago was St. Joseph. And at that time, the Spanish governor was Don Chacon. And the Africans used to make a lot of money in Port of Spain, right?
Right.
Because they had a port. The sea was there. And they did this contraband trade with Venezuela. So the Africans were making money backward and forward. Right. Don Chacon, who was the governor of the time, the first capital being in St. Joseph, realized that he has no seaport, he has no area. So he moved into Port of Spain. Well, first of all, Port of Spain was marshland, swamp. The Africans digged the dry river, if you ever hear about the dry river, with pickaxe and shovel and donkey cart, all the way from St. Anne's, all the way down to the sea. So that is what is called, so that the water that was coming into Port of Spain to make it a marshland was filled by Africans with a pickaxe and a shovel and a donkey cart and a wheelbarrow. It had no, we didn't have any modern equipment. And then furthermore, they blocked the dam up in Maraval. All that water that used to come down Tragrit Road and come right down into Port of Spain, down into Chacon Street, that was blocked. We had to dig that whole river from Maraval all the way down to Ryson Road, right? They are talking about African slaves. That's why they call it Dry River, and they call that. So when these Africans ended up down in that place where they used to call Kobotong, where they were doing this brisk trade. Then Don Chacon came into Port of Spain, took over the port, and said this port belongs to Spain. And these so-called politicians for 67, for how many years, man? How many years? I've never changed this port, this port still belongs to Spain. That shows you the backwardness of the politicians in this country. All over Africa, they change names of the place. Ivory Coast, they change all the names of the colonial masters. And we still, and this 2021, we still say that this port belongs to Spain. And then they took all the Africans, threw them up in Beetham, and threw them in the Mang in Silots, and the garbage dump. They threw them up there so that they could take over the port. Don Chacon. And the main street where the water used to run through, it is named Chacon Street. That name. So you're getting some idea
after 59 years of our independence, this is still continuing.
Yes. And I'm telling you what we have done.
Right.
What we have done. We have literally built this country. We were the slaves here. We came here and met the Indians and the Amerindians, right? The Indians and the Arawak. Now the only Arawak it have is a chicken, and the only Carib is a beer, you know.
Imam, someone says, Imam.
They literally wipe them off and trying to wipe off the African.
Imam, I've been told that you can give some good jokes too as well, you know. I've been told that too.
I like to make people happy. I believe that.
No. What we have an issue.
The purpose of life is just like the purpose of money. What is the purpose of money, really? Money only has two purposes. The first is that you look after yourself and your family to the whatever extent you want. And secondly, that you create opportunities for others. Money has no other use, no other purpose at all. Absolutely. Stacking up money in banks and stacking up money in this. And what is the purpose of that? And people starving. The amount of nuclear weapons that they could eradicate the poverty all through the world if these nuclear weapons were converted into something and made something progressive. Yeah? What can these nuclear weapons do against COVID? What? Nothing. Nothing. What about all these drones that Obama used to kill men in Yemen, to kill Anwar Lucky, and to kill his 17-year-old son? What can these drones do now to protect him and his family from this COVID? You have to mask up, you have to put on a mask, and you have to be hiding because judgment day is upon us, you know. Now, if I'm talking to Christians, I can show you. I can send you to your Bible where you can find what I'm telling you, you know. Go to Genesis 15, 12 to 14. And you will see God told Abraham that he is coming to punish them after 400 years. We are in the judgment time now. I didn't write the Bible. I'm telling you to go to the Bible and look at Genesis 15, 12 to 14. And you will see what I'm telling you is what is playing out here. All these weapons that they have, what use is it against COVID? Really, tell me. What use these weapons are against COVID? A small army that God has sent. And then you look at the climate change, the waters and fires washing away all of Europe, washing away, even in New York, in Los Angeles, water washing away. You can't see that before your eyes that the judgment is here. You can't see that the spirit of all these Indians who were murdered, massacred, along with the buffalo and put into camps. You can't see that the judgment is upon these people. What do you need? What eyes we need to see? That we have an enemy before us that nobody can do nothing about. None. All they could do is continue doing what they're doing, making money on foolish people by these vaccines. That is all they could do. A vaccine? How long it take to make this vaccine? 6 months? Listen, it take 46 years for the polio vaccine. I could give you statistics. Yellow fever, 25 years. I could give you statistics of how long it took. Up to now, we can't find a vaccine for HIV. It's killing people every day. Up to now, we can't find a vaccine for breast cancer. We can't find a vaccine for colon cancer. This young man who just died the other day, who made Black Panther, he just died from colon cancer. They couldn't find a vaccine. What about people who dying every day, men, from prostate cancer? We can't find a vaccine. But in 6 months, we find a vaccine for COVID? Come on. Makes sense.
So Imam, here is another question from a person in the chat, right? The person says, each and every student, and I would like you to respond to this. The person says, each and every student are given an equal chance to succeed, and education don't start at a school compound. It starts from home. What are the Black parents doing to help their children excel?
What are who children doing?
What are the Black parents doing to help their children excel?
Black parents, they have no food, they're not employed, they have no jobs, nothing at all. They're living in the ghettos. What they could do? What they could do compared to the people who live in affluence, who don't even have to pass the exams to get into the prestigious schools with the best teachers? What kind of question is that? That question
Imam, let me take that question because I grew up in Chumaka, Claventil, building one apartment, 2-1, and I can tell you, my mother really didn't have time. My mother's time was to go work 10 days as a water carrier to try to put food on our table and shelter over our head. Yeah. So when we talk about school, when I go to school, I basically she was just giving me right the what she needed in order for me just to go to school. And once I go to school, if I dedicate myself, right, it's the time that you don't have. And we never had no computer. We never had anything. We lived in Chumaka, Clapperton. As a matter of fact, I went to Barataria Junior Secondary School, right? And after I left Barataria Junior Secondary School, I was basically go to 6th or 6th form. And I got what's called a late pass because after I hear Coco Calypso, I got a late pass. My last name is Libon. So they thought I was a French Creole, and I ended up going to Tranquility Government Secondary School.
Yeah, that's my old school.
That's how I ended up in Tranquil. I got a late pass to go to Tranquil. And I tell people this, but I only realized that after I heard Coco Calypso. So what it is that, you know the other thing, Iman, people always ask the question, So why them people up in Laventille telling them, don't try to do this and don't try to do that? Those people are so busy trying to put food in their kids' table. They are busy trying to put food. I can talk about that. I come through that.
But there are other people in the country doing the same thing. It's not only Laventille people
but Gary,
hold on. And when you're talking about people in the country, they have land that they can plant. You can't plant nothing. During the slavery days, they brought people from St. Lucia and Dominica to try to plant cocoa and coffee in Laventille. Laventille is pure rock. You can't plant nothing on a rock. They said Jesus went out to sow. He sowed some seed on a barren ground. He sowed some seed on fertile ground and it grew. Where you go plant in Laventille, anywhere, from the time you pass the Caroni Bridge, all the land is dominated and dictated by Indians. So they could plant their food every day. They are the ones who provide all the food. They don't need to go to, we have to buy everything that they're producing. Because you can't plant nothing in Laventille. You can't plant nothing in Beetham. You can't plant nothing in Sealots. Where you could plant. Where you could plant in John, where you could plant on the train line in Marabella, where you could plant. You can't plant nothing. But in Caroni, you could plant anything you want. The whole, from the time you pass Caroni Bridge, all the land is dominated by the Indians. All. 9/10 of the land is dominated. So they could produce all the food. They produce 100% of the chicken in this country. I'm not saying this with enmity. I'm saying the facts, and that cannot be denied. The Indians produce 100% chickens in this country. And in Trinidad and Tobago, if you don't know, the KFC in Independence Square is the largest seller of chicken in the entire world. It used to be Russia, and Russia closed, and now they beat Russia. So we sell more chicken in Independence Square and KFC than any part of the world. And nowhere does any KFC sell the amount of it. That's to tell you. And who sells these chicken? Yeah. Who has the farms? They own all the farms. Who produces the granary? They produces all the granary. If you go to any wholesale hardware store in Trinidad and Tobago, any wholesale that sells foodstuff wholesale, there's not a single African, not one single African. The Africans are totally disenfranchised. And all this has been the political maneuvering by the politicians who have done absolutely nothing to take these Africans out of this morass, this wretched condition that they're in. And I'm saying that has to come to an end. I'm not going to pay no taxpayers' money for everybody's school to go to London and get scholarships, and I don't get paid for my teacher. No. I'm going to have not stop now. The buck stops now, and it stops with me. That's what I say.
You know, and Imam Yasin Abu Bakr, I think this is very important in that, and very instructive in that. You know, you are just saying that, look, we have a system here, and this system has to change, right? So those who don't benefit from the system, there are people who are in the system, and the people who want to benefit from the system is the black people, right? Yeah. And we have to change that. And if there is people who coming out and saying that system have to change, everybody should stand up and say, yes, we are with you. We are with you, because if that system...
But we have the same African people who say, nah, this man says a crazy man. Last week, when I will send you all the pictures from the prison. Last week, when I presented to the media all the atrocities in the prison, the commissioner of prison said that I was a liar. Nothing like that happens. And then the president of the prisoners of the prison affairs said that he himself went to the facility and saw that the condition that these people live in is worse than animals.
But Imam,
so he vindicated me.
But Imam, why hasn't it? I understand you say because of the makeup of the prison that 92% of the people in prison look like you and I. But why haven't government come and government go, and they have decided to make a change?
Because it's Africans in the prison. Nobody cares about the Africans. You don't understand what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. You know, I mean, Donald Trump made it very clear in America, all you who you all were and what your position was. I think in that way, I must congratulate Donald Trump, and he never started a foreign war so that all would go and get killed. Because a lot of you, I don't know, you know how you could justify America being the imperialist nation in the world, and you're going all over the world killing people for this imperialist nation, that you can't go to the same restaurant. Muhammad Ali is our idol. He taught you all how to live. He taught you all, you know, that he would give up his crown, that he would give up what we have for what is right. Men had to make sacrifices throughout all period of history. Men sacrifices. This is my sacrifice. I'm going to die one day. But when I meet my Lord, I want to meet my Lord as an honorable man. I don't want to meet my Lord as a coward. Coward died many times before their death. And I don't want to meet my Lord like that. I want to meet my Lord as an honest man who did what was supposed to be done without the fear of death. Because I'm going to die. I'm going to die. So why should I live as a slave? I'm a free man. I don't call nobody sir. You know, you go to court and they want you to call you just sir. I refuse and they want to charge me. But sir, the acronym sir means slave, I remain. And I'm not a slave.
Imam, you want to talk a little bit about the Juma prayer that you're going to have on the 17th of September with you and Dr. David Muhammad? You want to talk a little bit about that? What is that about?
Well, I told you we are preparing a document for reparation. Yeah? The British government has agreed, has admitted that slavery has been a stain on the British government, on the Great Britain, and efforts are made to try to make up for that. I can tell you that in the Scottish University, Glasgow University in particular, was built on slave labor. It was built by profits of slaves. And the Scottish government, through Glasgow University, has given to the University of the West Indies £20 million so that black children can have an opportunity for tertiary education. The money disappeared. They closed the gate. They used to have gate, which is the assistance to children. Now it closed. So only the Indians and the Syrians and who have money could afford tertiary education now because they could pay. But what the Africans going to pay with? They have no businesses. Africans don't have a bank. They don't have nothing. You don't understand. They have absolutely nothing. So if we do, the only chance they have to compete is with education, right? And I told him about my children. The only chance they have to compete. My children can compete. They're all professional. They can compete from my own Cowpen school and on all the other doctors that came from us, they could compete. But what about the other children? What if they had given me money to pay my teachers and I did not have to close my secondary school? How many more doctors we would have had? How many lawyers? How many more engineers? How many more accountants? How many more we would have had if they had given me what is my right, my just due for my tax dollar, instead of giving it to every other ethnic group and not me? How many? Every other ethnic group in Trinidad have a bank. Everyone. We don't even have a WZYE bank. They used to have a WZYE bank. You remember that? And they take it away from the African. Even the WZYE bank.
But Imam, we have just the DSS just there. The guy get locked up for DSS.
Yeah, the Susu, they take away Susu, and we know Susu is a cultural African thing. They take all the man money, all the poor people money.
And I hear the same guy started a pawn shop, and the police was already going after him. The same fellow who.
I don't know. I understand he's out of the country. I don't know what is the person's status, but I know the poor people lost their money.
Imam, what is your position on the COP?
When you say the COP, what do you mean?
Commissioner of Police.
Oh, well, at the moment, the last Commissioner of Police was Gary Griffith. And then his time was up, his contract was up, and they did not confirm him. And he was still there acting as police commissioner. One of the things in my Juma, I said that he cannot act as a commissioner of police because he's not a policeman. I myself was a policeman for 10 years, and I know that he cannot act as a commissioner of police because he's not a police. So he has since then gone on leave, and a real police is now acting as the commissioner. Jacob, I think his name is, yes, is from Tobago. So that is the status at the moment.
Okay, so are you a supporter of the commissioner of police, Gary
The
Griffith?
present commissioner, Jacob?
No.
Yes, I was
No, the former, the guy, the person who went on leave, the person who is currently on vacation right now, Gary Griffith. Are you a supporter of him as commissioner of police?
Well, he cannot be the commissioner of police. His tenure is over. He is now on holidays. His time has passed. He has not been confirmed, so I cannot support him. The person who is in the position of the deputy commissioner is I told you, Jacob from Tobago, and I have interacted with him. He's a reasonable man as far as I'm concerned. So at the moment, he is the commissioner as far as I'm concerned.
So Iman, have you heard from anyone from the government after your Friday Friday what is again after your
sermon?
Your Friday sermon? Have you heard from anyone from the government?
No, not really.
Do you expect
I would think that at the moment, for how many years I cannot count, I would think for the moment I have a fairly good relationship with some people in the government. The Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister has recognized that we are a community-based oriented organization. We feed the people, we educate the people, and on 2 occasions, the government has given us, along with everybody else, the government has given us money to make hampers for the people on 2 occasions. That is in recognition of our work, of course. Because
which government? Which government have given you any?
With the Prime Minister himself.
No, and no other government, just this current government?
Never give us nothing.
Okay.
And of course, I must say that Mr. Stuart Young was very instrumental in pushing through this situation for us, and I would like to thank him also. These 2 people are in the government. I think we have good relationship with them. The other people are all Indians. They have all the ministries. They don't give us no jobs, nothing at all. So I'm not concerned about that really.
So
I don't depend on the government to live, and I don't think people should depend on the government to provide jobs for all of us. We have 2 hands, we have 2 feet. I was just telling you this story about, the man who made the light bulb, Thomas Edison. They said the teacher sent him home when he was 9 years and said that he was mentally deranged.
Correct.
He made the light bulb.
Correct. Yeah. Imam, someone says, my grandson started schooling in your school, and when moved him to primary school, he was way advanced in the class he was put in.
Well, that is a fact. We always do that. We do that. We do that. We don't get no money on the thing, but we still be them. We're the best in the world.
So, Imam, do you as an imam get involved in politics as far as picking a side, or you are kind of neutral when politics is concerned?
No. I have helped every political party in this country. At some time or the other, they came, like all politicians, they came and said they're going to help the poor, they're going to help the school, and so we really are the power changers. We decide who win and who lose. Ask anybody from Trinidad. Ask maybe your Trinidad friend. We decide who win and who lose because we're the power brokers. So we have helped just about everybody, and we then, as soon as they finish, we get a kick in the bottom. So now we say, if you want to help, if you want our help, we taking the kick first.
But so Imam, someone asked this question, right? Who has the Africans disenfranchised?
The Africans themselves. The PNM is supposed to be the African party, and the Indians have only had 2 terms. So of course, the African people, the PNM.
Now, Imam, do you consider the PNM to be a black party?
Me?
Yeah.
I just told you that I'm not a politician, you know, I'm a priest. I'm a imam.
No, just asking that question.
No, quite frankly, quite frankly, from what I know and from where we are and from where we came to where we are, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So you're saying they are not a black party?
No, I just told you, look at the ministers, the people who have the most important ministries in the PNM at the moment are not Africans. That's what I'm telling you. Look for yourself.
So Imam, somebody just brought up this question, right? Imam, you are wearing your son's political party T-shirt. I didn't notice that. The new national vision.
My son is a lawyer and he's a politician. He's a budding politician. With his determination, and I know him, he's my son, and he's very strong-headed. I think one day he will be the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago because that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to practice law. He says, you know, he's just taking poor people money and things like that. So he's an active politician, but he has 2 law degrees, law and business, so he is involved in business also.
Imam, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that part of the failure or the lack of performance by the African children academically stems from the absence of a father in most of the homes?
Yeah, to some extent, yes. The fathers are absent. The fathers are non-absent. The fathers have continued the same attitude from the slavery. They're just slave donors. They drop a child here, they drop a child here, they drop a child here. They have not built constructively built homes. They have not been there. You can go and see them on Friday night drinking on Peter Avenue. And while their children home, instead of they go home and educate their children, you could see them spending their money, you know, making Fernandez and Angostura rich by buying all the rum and the beer. The African fathers in Trinidad are a total failure, completely total failure. I mean, whatever we have been able to salvage is through the strong women, in strong African women, but other than that, the African men are total failure, total failure. I make no excuse for that. I am an African myself. I can't say that for myself because I could, you know, anybody in Trinidad know me, know who I am.
And Imam, how do you think we can rectify this behavior or change the behavior or convince the African father that, you know, you need to be present in your child's life for the race to do better, for the child to perform better? You know, this is part of the problem. How do we send that message to the African father?
Well, we've had so many African fathers who have been leadership, who have been in leadership positions in the government for so many years, and they have not been able to do that. I don't know how I could do that. You know what we say? We say that we have done so much with so little. People think we could do anything with nothing. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that. We have done so much with so little that people think we could do anything with nothing. You know
why I asked you that, Imam? Because you gave a statistic earlier that 92% of the people in jail are African. So if 92% are in there,
then the women
it is a
struggling.
Exactly, and they're gonna go put themselves with another bloke, for lack of a better word.
Again, and he will now give one more child.
Yeah, who is going to be with the same behavior? How do we? I mean, you are in a leadership position. You're much older than I. I don't have any children. I myself suffered from the lack of a relationship with my biological father, so I can speak of that void in my life of not having a father. And I always, every time I get a podium and a chance to speak of it, I plead to the African man. It is important. You need to be in your child's life, because I'm 61 years old and there's a void in me I still have this void. I've never had a relationship with my biological father. And, you know, it is sad. So I try to convince young men or men out there, please, you know, it is important. You must connect with that child. It is important. It is healthy for the child. How do we do it? How do you do it? What do we say? I mean, it doesn't, you know, you may not have the finances all the time, but at least, you know, pass by and give the child a good word of encouragement. How do we do it? How is
Well,
it done?
I don't know. I have girl children and boy children, 14 altogether. And I hug up all my children, all my girl children still hug me up. Right now, I hug them. My sons always hug up. My son, who is the professional footballer, he has played professional footballers in 9 countries, but at the same time, he has a first-class degree from Kingston University in England in business and finance, because that's life after football. And he will not leave. He's probably coming to America as a coach and player coach maybe next week. His name is Yasin Abu Bakr, and he played,
what team? What
he
team is
was
he
the
gonna
one in
coach?
the Mexico game that shut out Mexico.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah. What team is he gonna coach?
I don't remember right now, but he's
Okay,
a
all
player
right,
coach, and he's probably leaving next week. So I will let him get onto your radio station, yeah, and you
Yeah,
can
man.
probably interview him. He will
Yeah,
not
no problem.
He will not leave unless I get to go with him to the airport. He will not, you know. And
Okay.
he's a big man. He's a grown man. He's married. But that is how my children are. Or I hug up my daughters, my sons. I mean, we have a father. Well, not even that. We have a brother-sister relationship now. Because in our religion, they say once they get to puberty and things, they're no longer children. So you treat them as though they're young adults. And I've treated all my children like that.
So,
All.
Imam, another
Yeah.
person said, as a leader, what are your recommendations you will give to make Trinidad and Tobago a better place, spreading equality and in introducing a better quality of life for all?
Well, I tell you, when you speak about Trinidad and Tobago, you can't speak about Trinidad and Tobago as a country. Trinidad and Tobago is not a country. It has several groups. I have coined my own phrase for Trinidad, and it's called propinquity and fusion. I will tell you what it means. It means moving together but separate. You follow me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's not a question. The politics are purely based on race. The Indians control Trinidad in every aspect, in every single aspect. The Africans are the bottom of the table. The people who they call French Creole, or the so-called whites and things like that, they only have about 5,000. So they cannot compete. The largest population in Trinidad and Tobago are the Indians. Nobody can compete with them. They're buying power, they're selling power. They are in charge of Trinidad and Tobago. There's no question whatsoever that they are. I would be stupid to say the African, not even, the African ain't even grand charge, must have to be in charge. The African can charge. So that is the truth, right? So
And how is that? How that became so? How that became so?
So Gary, yeah, with that in mind, somebody asked, where did the Indians get their money? Are they stealing, selling drugs and guns, committing crimes, or working hard? Somebody asked the question in the chat.
I do not cast aspersions on people. I leave that for somebody else. Yeah, let somebody else decide that. What I'm saying is the fact is that they are in charge of Trinidad and Tobago in every facet of the society. In the legal department, they have more lawyers than in the judiciary, in every aspect, in the business communities, in every aspect, they are in charge of Trinidad and Tobago. And if anybody tell you otherwise, tell them Abu Bakr said they're telling a lie, right?
So Imam, the 1% are no longer in charge? The 1% are no longer in charge?
No, the 1% cannot compete with the Indians. The 1% does control a certain aspect of the monetary aspect of the country. But now they're challenged by the Chinese. The Chinese are now here, and you know, we don't ever pick the Chinese on the football team. You know why? Do you know about football?
Of course, we know about football. You want to go back to who?
You know why they don't pick the Chinese on the Trinidad team? Because every time they get a corner, they open a shop.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting before you go through, right, is that
You want our jokes, but
you see, all over the world today we have problems. You know, people who want to take the vaccine and people who don't want to take the vaccine, and it's because that people do not believe in politicians. They know how politicians lie. They do not believe in businessmen. They know how businessmen are covetous, greedy, how they lie. Pfizer raised the price of vaccine already. Pfizer was nobody in terms of being a medical producer. Pfizer made a drug for angina, which is a mild heart attack. And it turned out that when people used it, they were getting an erection. So they made Viagra, and suddenly they became the biggest pharmaceutical in the world because they made Viagra. You know that? Did you know that?
Alleged.
Huh?
They made
Pfizer made Viagra. Yeah, I know Pfizer made Viagra.
Pfizer
they made something for angina,
angina,
a heart condition,
a mild heart
angina,
attack. And it
and
turned out that when people took it, that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
began to get
Yeah.
an erection. So they took it, they just modified it, and they came up with Viagra. And so that skyrocketed them right up, because I don't know how much men use Viagra in your country, but that is it. So I will give you a simple, I will tell you, you see how difficult it is for politicians to convince people everywhere in the world that they must wear a mask and they must take the vaccine, and people are protesting against taking the vaccine and things like that, because people know politicians lie. They know businessmen lie and they cheat. And I will give you an example. A politician took a woman out on a date one night, and he was telling her, well, he was a politician, and you know how much he's going to do for the people, and how much he's going to do this, and he's going to do that, and they do that. And after she was finished speaking, she said, yes, I believe all that you said, because I'm a prostitute, but I'm still a virgin.
oh,
You get me there?
Yeah.
oh,
Full 100. Full 100.
That's the answer to the politician. You know, all you tell me there? Well, here was my answer to that. I'm a prostitute, but I still a virgin. Yeah?
But Iman, you still deal with some of those same politicians, though.
Me?
Yeah. Don't you?
Yeah, when you say deal, what I mean, I don't deal, I don't gamble.
Well, not deal, but deal. You still have discussions. For example, in order for them to change the scenario with education in the country, you have to go and deal with the politicians for them to change it.
But I told you I have a relate with Mr. Stuart Young and the Prime Minister. I do have a relate with them where I can speak to them, yes. So okay, I guess I will have to, yes, they will have to address the situation. You know what is so bad is that these extrajudicial killings by the police of these young men. You look at the results of the examination, and you can't see anywhere, even in the first 100, you could see the police children. You know, and that is so sad. And because they don't even understand that there is strength in numbers. If you cannot move the table in front of you, 10 of you will be able to move it, maybe, right? So the African policemen don't even understand that. Every time you kill an African young man and woman, they killed a young man and woman 2 weeks ago, right? In the blatant eyes of everybody, the blood splattered on the baby on the bed, and they just took the baby on the bed and threw it by the neighbor next door. You think this place is easy? So I'm saying that yes, I do have a relationship with the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. he, like everybody else, is struggling to see what they can do with this with this COVID. Of course, it has nothing to do with them. They will suffer. Everybody will pay the price. The flood that is washing away the whole world, is cleansing it from its evil and its dirtiness. The place is, and by the time this COVID is over, the world has to reset. The world will never ever be the same as it is. It must reset before COVID is over.
Full 100.
I tell you that. You hear?
Full 100.
Things are never going to be the same again. Never.
Absolutely. Imam, someone says, good night, Imam Abu Bakr. You have a birthday coming up in October. Is it the same planet as Rowley? Is it the same planet as Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley?
Yes, yes. The 18th of October, I will be 80 years young.
Oh.
And you are the same planet as Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. He's also October, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's why we get along so good, right?
Well, I hope we can improve the relationship, because he's the man in charge, and he's the first prime minister that has done anything where the school is concerned for 40 years. He has given a little stipend to keep the school going. So we wait to see what's going to happen in the. We wait to see. Some people are against the lockdown. Some people are against the state of emergency. As far as that is concerned, I support him 100%. Trinidadians are very ill-disciplined, and no matter how you talk to them, they still want to go to the Zessa parties, and they still want to do that. So if they think that they could solve the problem by doing that, well, I'm in conformity. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I was a police officer for 10 years of my life. So I know what it is to obey laws, and I also know that it has some laws that you don't have to obey. St. Augustine said in the Bible that, an unjust law is no law at all. And I believe that. I believe there's some laws, unless it has some morality in it, it cannot be accepted as a law. The present Attorney General in Trinidad has made a law that women cannot be married until he's 18 years. He's a crazy man. Mary Magdalene, the mother of Jesus, had a child when she was 16 years. So he has nothing, he has no idea whatsoever about scripture. And this is where I come in. I will not obey that law. I'm a marriage officer for myself for 36 years. I've been a state marriage officer. And I'm not going to obey that law. If somebody comes to me and they're 17 years old and they're pregnant, and the man is gainfully employed and can provide for the woman, I will marry them, and then I'll challenge the Attorney General.
Imam Abu Bakr, somebody just wanted to say that the person who asked that question is Marcia Braveboy. They just wanted to know.
Oh, yeah, I know. How you doing, sister?
She's in the chat. She's in our chat.
Nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah. She just wanted me to say that. And we also have a next person from who you might know from around.
She's a struggler like myself. Yeah.
Yeah. We also have another fella in the chat. I don't know. He's from around your area too.
So that is basically what the big hoorah has been about. Change, like I say, is a universal principle of constant development, but people always resist change. But in order to change, in order to grow, you must change. Sometimes when you were small, you probably like a particular shoe because it fitted nice and it was comfortable and looked nice. But as you grew, you outgrew the shoe. And if you try to put it on, it will burn you. It will burn your feet. It will hurt because you have outgrown it. And we have outgrown this injustice of in Trinidad and Tobago. So we will make the necessary sacrifices to see that this is changed.
But Imam, you mentioned that about the SOE. Don't you think to extend the SOE a little longer, there are people who work those hours and it's causing a little bit of financial hardship, thus causing poverty on some citizens, and they're not able to provide for their families, and the social network system is not reaching those citizens, because of this SOE also. I mean,
Yes, I agree with you. That does exist in some cases. It does exist. In some cases, people just naturally flaunt the law. I think that first of all, the SOE came and the lockdown came by pressure on the Prime Minister. The business community, when the debt started to increase, they forced the Prime Minister, they pressured him into the state of emergency. Literally, he tried to ward it off as long as he could, but they pressured him into it, and he succumbed to the pressure of the business community. Of course, they were the ones who run the country all the time, the people who have the business. The Prime Minister in Trinidad is always just a figurehead, but the people who own the businesses and own the banks and things like that, they run the country.
But Imam, why would you say the Prime Minister is a figurehead though? He's all powerful though. Isn't he all powerful? All powerful, yeah.
No. The only person who's all powerful is God.
All right.
If he was all powerful, he would stop the virus.
All right.
But isn't it that the business community suffered the most? How can the business community pressure the Prime Minister and SOE when they're suffering the most financially on that?
Which business community is suffering? This community, the bank is declaring profits of millions and millions.
Maybe the banks, but the business people are not suffering. Their business is not suffering. The small man is not suffering.
Well, for years, they made exorbitant profits from the people, and that's why I'm saying that this COVID is an act of God, and nobody can do nothing about it. You could take jabs. You could take more jabs than Muhammad Ali. You could take more jabs than Tyson. You're gonna have to wait until this whole world is readjusted, reset before this virus go. And if this one go, it has something worse to come until the world is readjusted. This world will never, ever, ever be the same again, right? There's people.
The world will never be the same again. But I have to agree with you what you're saying on that part of it. But I'm trying to understand, because a lot of people are saying that their business, they lost their business, they've shut down their business. So maybe a group of the business community for the Prime Minister.
Before they shut down their business, they were making trillions and trillions of dollars. So they missed nothing.
Big businesses, but not the small man. Not the small man.
Well, how come the African complain? Because he had nothing, he had no business. How come he ain't complaining? He had nothing to lose. So the people whose businesses are closed, they could close for another 6 months because they've made enough money. I mean, they still declaring profit, so they're not totally closed. All the businesses are not closed. Many of the businesses are open now, so all of them are not closed. They used to making all these huge profits, but they can't now because the people don't have any money. The people who spend the money are the Africans. They're the ones who spend the money. They don't have any businesses. They're the consumers. So they spend all the money, but now they have no money to spend. So obviously, the business people will be making less money and less profits than before. And this is going to continue. Just what I'm telling you. There's no end in sight for this COVID. There's no end in sight about. I remember Trump saying that last year Easter people will be singing and dancing in the church. Nobody knows the end. The virus, the last virus, the Spanish virus lasted for 5 years. This one is going to go, and if they say that the virus comes in waves, not so. Mm-hmm. Well, what is happening when the virus comes and the whole sea comes? What's going to happen? Right now, it's waves. Yeah, but the whole sea is going to come. We see the water everywhere. God is washing the place with water everywhere. Where is not water is fire. All in Turkey, there's fire all over the place. There's fire and destruction everywhere.
But
So,
Imam,
Imam, I want
right.
you to respond to this comment, right? Because this is the type of comments, and I think you responded previously, but I'm going to respond. I'm going to say it again because I think the person might be new to our chat. It said that instead of promoting Africanism and reparations, why not support unity and nationalism and inclusivity?
well, you said you know about football. So first of all, before you could talk about any kind of unity, the playing field had to be level. Otherwise, every game in the world that is played, the playing field is level. Of course, if you're playing golf, there's undulations and things like that. But when it comes to putting the pot, the ball in the pot, it's very, very level. So first of all, when you want to talk about unity, you have to talk about justice. And if there's no justice, there can be no peace. And if there's no peace, there's no unity. And I tell you that Trinidadians, who was they going to unite? These people, you think African could marry a Syrian? You think a Lebanese will marry a Syrian? That don't happen. The Indians have a caste system where a black Indian cannot marry a light-skinned Indian. There's a caste system. They have their own problem. So talking about unity, now we're wasting time. First of all, the playing field has to be level. Now, it's two ways you could level a playing field, right? You either cut down on top and full up below, or you full up below and you cut down on top. You can't level the playing field no other. Now, when Trinidad and Tobago on top, nobody can cut down on top. Who could cut down Sabga and Aboud and Masi, and who could cut them down? Which politician could cut them down? So how are you talking about leveling the playing field? And then if you don't cut down the top, how you go full up below? How you go level it? Or how you leveling it? And so it's not a game. All the games in the world, the playing fields are level. This is not, so except in Trinidad and Tobago, you can't talk about unity until the playing field level. Now, if you, let us say let me tell you what is happening. The Africans are playing against everybody else, right? The African team is in the savannah. The goalpost is in the savannah. But the other people, the goalpost is up on the hill by Hilton. You know where Hilton is?
Yeah.
Every time they kick up the ball against the opposition, the ball coming down and scoring there on them. How you go score? The goalpost. How you go score? The goalpost up. You understand? So until we level the playing field, then we could talk about unity. And to level the playing field needs unity among Africans. It means understanding our history, understanding our culture, understanding who we are, and then working together for the common good of all. And then we could talk about unity. If a man running you down with a 3-canal cutlass, when he catches you, he'll chop you up, But if you manage to get a stone, he will stop, because now you could defend yourself. And you start to reason with your, where's that? Where's going on here? But if you didn't get no stone, that is it, he'll chop you up. But once you get a stone, you're in a position now to defend yourself, and then he will check. And he will say, well, what I mean, boss, all this is necessary, that because you could defend yourself. We are defenseless, we can't defend yourself. I could defend myself because I'm afraid that. Yeah, so
also to Imam, you're absolutely correct. I read a book, I read it over and over, Powernomics, the National Plan to Empower Black People by Claude Anderson. We as African people, we do not have economies underneath of our communities. There's no economies, and economies mean capital. So they can run into our economies and into our communities, and they do what they're not going to go into the Westmoorings and and kill all the people in there, because that is where all the people that reside, they own the media houses and the business houses. They have the economies under them.
Companies, and security companies, they own all the guns.
Thank you.
I am a pro-life person, and I do not believe in guns, because what I have is more powerful than any gun. What I have, I will take away a gun. I could talk, and I know the word of God, so I could take away a gun. So I don't need a gun. I am a pro-life person, but everybody wants a gun now. Everybody, the world, and we think that we have become civilized. You know, a man told me that the reason why they're able to make this vaccine so fast is because they improved the technique. Yes? Well, let me explain this to you. 20 years ago, or say 100 years ago, a man used to rob you with a bone handle knife. Because that's what he had a knife with a bone handle. Today, if a man wants to rob you, he's robbing you with a 357 Chrome Magnum. But he's still robbing you. It's just he modernized the way to rob you. You follow what I'm saying? You follow me?
Yeah, full 100. So Imam, I'm gonna give you one question from the chat, right? But let me give you this quote though. This is a quote from your Friday sermon, right?
Yeah.
You said, in Trinidad, this is a quote, in Trinidad, don't fix the society, don't give to the poor what is their due, don't start to be fair and just, don't let the prisoners who are locking up for 15 years without a trial, don't do that. You will see what will happen. Remember, I warned you today. What exactly did you mean by that? But Iman, stick and stay. We're going to go for a quick break, and we're going to try to keep you a little bit, but stick and stay. Let's go for a quick station identification, and we'll be right back. Of course, we have with us Imam Yasin Abu Bakr, the leader of Jamaat al-Muslimeen in Trinidad and Tobago. He has graciously decided to join us tonight, and we're having a fantabulous, splendiferous, marvelous discussion. Iman, stick and stay. Let's go for a quick 10 seconds break, and we'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
And of course, we are back with you. It's in the village to the dark Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We have with us no other than Imam Yasin Abu Bakr, the leader of the Jamaat al-Muslim in Trinidad and Tobago. And he has graciously decided to join us here tonight. And we're having a very wonderful, spirited conversation. And he's giving us, his feeling about things that are happening in Trinidad and Tobago. So
do you see anybody in the back room?
Not as yet. Not as yet. So Imam, I just read a quote there for you. What do you say about that quote? Because you
want to repeat the quote again quickly?
Yeah, let me repeat it for you. This is it. You said, in Trinidad, don't fix the society, don't give to the poor what is their due, don't start to be fair and just, don't let go the prisoners who you're locking up for 15 years without a trial. Don't do that, and you will see what will happen. Remember, I warned you today. What did you mean when you said that?
Yes, I said that, but I'm going to tell you what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You see, God never destroys a population before a warner comes to it. Every population that was destroyed, a warner came to it. Yeah? So I was merely fulfilling the role of a warner. But let me. I am a student for the history, so I'm going to give you a classical history answer to what you said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in France, they have a holiday that is called Bastille Day.
Correct.
Yeah?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
I will tell you how it came about. The Queen said that Isabel, the people were hungry, they were starving, they had nothing to eat, and they went and told her, the Jesuit priest and the people told her, look here, now, if you know what the Bastille is a large place like a parliament, like the White House then, right?
Mm-hmm.
But large, where all the elite lived and everybody lived there, including the Jesuit priests and everybody else. And they told her, listen, the people are hungry and they have nothing to eat. And she said, feed them with cake. No, they said they said the people have no bread to eat. You know what she said? Feed them with cake.
Let them eat cake.
Feed them with cakes. You know what happened? The people broke down the Bastille and killed everybody in the Bastille. And then they put her head in a guillotine and they chop it off. So I just gave you the answer because the people are starving, they're hungry, there was injustices, and they call on the queen and say, she don't care. If there are no bread, feed them with cakes. Today in France, it is a holiday and it's called Bastille Day. They want forever people to remember, the leaders to remember what happened when you starve the people, when they're hungry, when they call on you and you know not establish justice and fair play, what happens? I think I've answered you.
Absolutely, absolutely, Iman. You're doing a fantabulous job, man. You're answering all the questions without any problem. Iman, here is another thing someone says, right?
Yeah.
The person says, why it is that you feel that Africans have to be on top to thrive? Do your best and you will always thrive.
What is the question?
The question is that, why is that you feel like Africans have to be on top to thrive? Do your best and you will always thrive. So the person is saying that, why do you feel that Africans have to be on top in order to be successful? The person is saying, do your best and you will always be successful. I mean, I don't agree with that, but that's the person. The person asked the question, so I'm asking you it.
Well, the person who asked that question is an African, I'm sure. And
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm assuming. Assuming. And people who ask those questions are the greatest impediment to Africans' progress. I will tell you what I mean by that. If that person lived in Europe and they said there was no Holocaust, they would be put in prison. And that I told you that earlier on.
Correct.
And that's a person who will deny that slavery exists. That is a person who will say that the aftermath of history, why they cannot use the word reparation, is because the root word is to repair. And nobody could repair the damage that has been done to Africans. Nobody. Africans were sold as chattel slavery. You 2 pounds of flour, a pound of rice. They put the women up. They raped the women in our presence. The men was able to look at their wives being raped by the white master. Their daughters were bad. They couldn't do that in front of me. But I mean, that's what happened. Then when we try to run away, I'm the friend. You see, I defend you. Realize that I defend Trinidad. When you try to run away, the same slaves telling the master, look, one run away. Master, we sick. You know the old Malcolm thing, yeah?
Yeah. We sick.
Once we continue, so he is denying now that the African Holocaust never occurred, and that reparation cannot be or has never been paid. You know how much $1 trillion Germany has paid to Israel? Trillions they're talking about. You know how much trillions dollars? You know how much your money, you know how much of your own money, you who I'm speaking to, you know how much of your money goes to Israel every year? You know what Israel has done to Palestine? You know how many United Nations orders has been made against Palestine for the extension of territories and they don't obey? You know how many of the nuclear facility that they have in Israel that Germany has helped them build? And you're talking about reparation? Germany has offered Namibia $1.8 billion for 20 years. Namibia refused. They only, according to the Jews, 6 million Jews were killed. More than 60 million people have been killed in Namibia. You know the amount of millions of Africans they killed in the slave trade? And what have we gotten for it? Nothing at all. And you're talking about if you try, you feel you try and you're on top? The person who asked this question, tell me what is your position? Use the Secretary of State? The person who asked the question, I want to know if he's the Secretary of State because he know how to try and he know how to get on top. So I want to know if he's the Secretary of State now or if he's Biden's second man or what. What is his position in society?
Well, Iman, I got to wait for them to put the answer in the chat. Iman, there's another person that says hello to you. I follow him Kingsley.
Oh, yeah, no Kingsley. I can know Kingsley. Kingsley, my partner.
Your Kingsley is your partner?
Yeah.
We had Kingsley on here, I guess 1 or 2 shows ago here in the village with the dark triplets. So,
yeah, Kingsley, my partner. Kingsley, my
partner. All right. Wonderful, man. Wonderful. So, Iman, you know, we have had you for such a long time and we really appreciate you coming on, right? And
yeah, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity.
But wait. We cannot finish it. And just another few more minutes, right?
I'm not in a hurry. I have nowhere to go. Yeah,
you know, yeah. I know what I mean. Gary, you want to say something?
Yeah. What I'm looking at is that if if he can organize his community to educate the children, right, and help them to better themselves, we would have a less issue with crime. I mean, most of the problem that we have is that a lack of the father, as Diana raised the question, is wrong to guide these children, and they end up in criminality. So, I mean, you can't blame the police who locked them up with the children, ended up in prison because of wrong guidance. That is the main cause. Is there's a lack of guidance for the children in the community. As I support you providing education, and if you have to specify, just like how Sat Maharaj did for the Indian community, that you're doing for the Afro community, all that is fine. But what I don't like seeing is when the race division starts to take place, or the Indian have this and the African don't have that, and this kind of conversation, it kind of pits people against each other, and I don't want to see that. I want us to see us continue in a more harmonious way, in the sense that yes, you're helping your community. Nobody can hold that against you. If you feel that African people are disenfranchised or mistreated, or being discriminated against, and you do something to help to enhance their capability, that is something that should be supported. My issue is why the government has not worked with you, and I think you should have a real sit down with the Prime Minister and tell him, don't mama guy you. Giving you a little stipend is not good enough. You need real dollars. You've been existing long enough. 40 years is long enough time for you to get proper financing, and tell the government don't play games with you on that, because you are providing an essential service that is absolutely necessary for the community and the country. The children succeed in your community, the Afro children succeed in your community, they are going to benefit Trinidad and Tobago as a whole.
But Gary, there's a point, and Iman, I just wanted to raise this point, right? I went to Calvary Roman Catholic School, which is no longer there, right? Right down the corner from Calvary was Piccadilly School. Around the corner was Bethlehem. Right around the corner was St. Philip's, right? Most of those schools have been closed, right? And now people who in those poor communities, poor Black disadvantaged communities now, had to trek all the way to Belmont in order to go to school. To me, those schools should have been a staple in the communities, right? And I was in total disagreement when the government decided to close those schools and just leave them there abandoned. I think that is something they should, reconsider and open those schools back in those communities. That's just my little opinion on that. Yeah.
Speaking of the school, Kingsley was here the other day, and he told us about the school that they
yeah. When Kingsley was on, yeah.
He told us about the school the previous government built, and they won't open it. They wouldn't open it. Why?
So Iman, how many kids do you have in your school? How many kids go to your school? What are the different forms in your school that you have?
Well, I told you we had a secondary school, which is the college level. But we closed that school because we could not no longer afford to pay the chemistry teachers and the physics teachers, right? So we only have a preschool now and a primary school. But the school is there, but it's not functional because we cannot afford to pay, and the government is not giving us any money for that, right? So we only have a preschool and a primary school. After that, usually my children have the first choices, which is St. Mary's College or the boys' QRC or whatever. You understand? Because, which is considered the prestigious schools, yeah? Until we are able, if we get in the Concordia, then we will again reestablish our secondary school, which will be a college, yeah, Mukurapa Islamic College. And then we can go from there, we go straight to university, as my boys have done. I mean, all of them have been to QRC College, and then they've been to London, where they have been finished their education. Some of them have spent 2 years in Libya, boys and girls. So would they have a different perspective on life as the ordinary man who thinks life ends in London, you know, or after all, life ends in America. Once you go to America, that is the end of the world. You know, that is it. So they have a narrow perspective of life. But I want to ask the caller before, how do you explain Trinidad and Tobago? Because most of you seem to know Trinidad and Tobago, or Trinidadians, yeah? How do you explain that only one black man could build a school in Trinidad and Tobago, and it have hundreds of schools in Trinidad and Tobago, and the only black man could build a school and then not get no money for the school, and he paid taxes like everybody else, and the students who parents who can pay taxes? How you explain that kind of disparity? How you explain that? You explain that.
Institutionalized oppression.
Yes, of course.
But the Indian people went with that in the early days too, against with the government. You know, Satmaraj and them experienced that. They experienced that. The government wouldn't fund the Hindu school before. They went through that.
What's that?
But not for 40. He said the Hindu school, Satmaraj and the Hindu school went through that, guy, but not for 40 years.
Went through what?
I'm just saying they've been there. We've been there. We fought before that.
No. All the big schools, Hindu schools, and then the government built all the schools. You had access to free education like everybody in Trinidad. So I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. But when it comes to you can't count nobody in Trinidad as African who did what Satmaraj did for the Indians, and I salute him. He was a friend of mine in some aspects, you know. I respect a person and his ability, and he did a lot of things for the Indian, especially in the schools. But he also put the children out of school who had Rasta here. He put out that child out of the school and said the child can't come in his Hindu school because although the child passed for that school and the government put the child in the school, he put the child out. Another a woman who was teaching in St. Augustine school, the best of the school, women's school, he objected. He and a lawyer who is now a member of parliament they put all the girl out of the school. So the racism, the cross racism is still there, and they have the power. Africans have power.
They put down the child based on what, religion or what?
What is that?
What was the grounds to put in the child out? Based on what?
Religion. The grounds was religion.
So it was a school for Hindu.
Justin, that is 2 years ago, and he is now the lawyer who did that for Satmaraj. He is now a member of parliament.
But what I'm saying, is it a school for Hindu? Is that what they're saying? A school for only Hindus? Is that what they were saying?
Satmaraj said that she could not come in there with the hijab because she was a Muslim. Because and she was put out of the school. And the person who was the lawyer for that is now a UNC member of parliament. So it's crass racism. Is just, I mean, you are trying to defend a caste system. You have your own racism within your own system because you have about 6 different castes in Hinduism. So you cannot argue on the basis of racism and things like that, because I don't know your complexion. But if you dark, you can I no light skin in there like me. You know that? You know that? Tell me that I'm not true. You can't no Brahmin. If you're not a Brahmin, what if I know your name, I will tell you you're not a Brahmin. And if you're not a Brahmin, then you can't marry a Brahmin. So within yourself, within your own Hinduism, you have 6 different castes. And listen, I have been
something in India. That's not something in Trinidad. That's something in India.
That's something. What are you saying? What are you saying, man?
We practicing that in Trinidad?
Don't fool people now, man. Don't fool
I'm asking you. I'm asking, are we practicing that in Trinidad? I'm not conscious of that.
Yes. As we speak, it is practiced in Trinidad. You know how much trouble I had to marry this woman, my last wife, who is supposed to be a Brahmin. You know how much opposition? They lock away my wife from me. I had to go and dig up my tomahawk. And then they say, well, then they say they release her. You know how much trouble? But I know I'm the original Brahmin. I know I'm not like Farkan saying that I'm the original man. But I know that all Indians, the original Indians, came from Africa. If you don't know that, ask the anthropologists. If you don't know that the largest number of Indians outside of India is in South Africa, I'm sure you know that, or you don't. I'm sure you know there's several. I'm sure you know that 3 months ago, the poor Indians who were dying, hundreds every day, they destroy all the gods that they had before, because they realized that they're feeding these gods all the time, and these gods are not protecting them from this monster. I'm sure you know that the Narendra Modi, who is the Prime Minister of India, he lent $10 billion to Donald Trump because he wanted to get back his visa, and he got it back. While he have hundreds and thousands of people who have nothing to eat on a daily basis. My son was playing football in India because they want to go to the World Cup last year, and he himself and Pollard plays from Mumbai, and they went into the hotel, and you know what my son told me? When he looked in the hotel, he saw affluence, not opulence. That is what past riches. We ain't talking about riches here now. We talk about opulence, right? When you pass riches in that, and then 3 miles down the road, the Indians are living on the street. They eat the same place that they defecate. They under the bridges and things like that. I could tell you, I've been to in countries like India. I've been to countries like Chad, where the French has cut it in the middle, and these poor Africans are living in Chad, and across the road, the Indians, the French is living in affluence. You know what has been done to us? The French took all the prisoners out of jail, and made the French Foreign Legion, and destroyed all of East Africa, what they call the Maghreb country, Tunisia, Morocco, Algeria, Senegal. Do you know that? That they paid half of the GDP to France? Do you know that after the war, the British took out all the prisoners out of jail and sent them in Australia, and that is Australia, and then they killed all the Aborigines? Have you any knowledge of what?
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, but what we're focusing in is Trinidad and Tobago, in the fact that you are providing essential service that is I see as necessary to enhance people of Trinidad and Tobago, regardless of their race or their color, right? And it should be funded by the government, and the government is without excuse. I strongly believe that if you educate the children, they will not and get them in constructive things, they would not be involved in crime. So this is something that I see that is essential. I am aware of the ancient history and what's happening in India and the level of poverty. I mean, we're seeing it happening right in Trinidad and Tobago, where people of the same race have money and would not have those who have none. So this is what I'm trying to focus on Trinidad and Tobago. I'm aware of what's going on there, and I would like to see a better plan of action. I would like to see you get proper support from the government in what you are trying to do as far as the education and improving the community there.
Imam, I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Just drifting from the topic a little, respectfully, sir. Respectfully. Right. Is polygamy illegal in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, yes, at one time, they said they was going to charge me for bigamy. And then they realized that there was nobody bigger than me, and they stopped.
And in your religion,
yes.
I am a poet and an author, an award-winning poet. So I tend to push the button with my poetry. So I have been compared to Amiri Baraka and Amaya Angelou and those. So I push the button with my poetry, right? So I go there where people tend to not want to go. So in your religion, Imam, how come is it men are allowed to have more than one wife and women can't have more than one husband?
I'm listening to you.
Go ahead, Diana. Repeat, Diana. Diana, repeat.
How come is it men are allowed to have more than one wife and women aren't allowed to have more than one husband?
Well, one coach can pull 100 carriages, but 100 carriages cannot pull one coach. And in any case, you kill men every single day in war. Men are being killed. Right now with the Taliban, look how many people are being killed in Afghanistan. Yeah, look how many people have been. And what do the women just stay like that and not be looked after? In our religion, the Prophet said that Allah instructed him that we should marry the widows and the orphans. So women whose husbands are dead and they have 5 or 6 or 8 children, someone should marry them. I married my first wife and she had 2 children. She was an economist, a senior economist, and she had 2 children. That was from her first marriage, but I married her and I left all the virgins. So I don't see a problem. Or you leave the woman to be nuns and then the priests alone have the fun with them, and then you find the babies buried in the backyards. You know what happens in these Christianity and things like that. All right. Well, only lately in the Vatican, a couple of weeks ago, 8 men have been charged for stealing money from the Vatican. Prominent members stole money, these bishops and things like that from the Vatican. So when we want to make comparisons with religion and things like that, I would like, if you think that one woman could have 4 husbands, I would like to be one of your husbands so that you could mind me. You could build a house for me, because men are in charge of the affairs of women, and men are the maintainers, the providers, and the protectors of women. So all my wives live in houses that I've built for themselves. I'm involved in construction, and I look after them. And they're happy. Their children are happy. I just told you that my children, in terms of academics, they have excelled, right? From my school, from my convent school, and so I think that it's better than you lead the woman to prostitution. It doesn't appear in our book that there should be no prostitution. And so what happens when a woman husband die? So many Trinidadians have gone abroad to fight for this imperialist America and died. And their wives, I don't know how their wives and children make out in America. Maybe you can help me. Because they are the ones on the boots on the ground. The people like Clinton and the others and things like that, they don't go on the ground, on the army. They are in the cruise ships, or they are the pilots and things like that. You know that, what I'm talking about. So there's really no equity in terms of how we organize our social lives. If we're going to leave the widows, all the men who get killed. Look how many men just got killed in Taliban, from the Taliban, even officers. So what do we do with those children and those women? We put them in orphanages? In Islam, no. Islam says that you should marry the women and look after the children.
But there are some of us imams, some women who take charge of their own destiny and themselves and provide for themselves. They don't look to, they look to what you call Allah, I call him Jehovah, and we take charge of ourselves.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I agree with you. What part of America you live?
I live in Connecticut. I often wonder, it puzzles me.
I have a sister, my baby sister, the one after me. My mother had 14 children, and the girl after me, she is also an author. Her name is Dr. Brenda Flanagan, and she's also an author. So maybe you can hook up with her sometime. Her name is Brenda Flanagan. She was a professor at Michigan University. Where's Brenda last? Davidson. Yeah, she is now at Davidson College, but she is an author, and her name is, well, her name would have been Brenda Phillip, and she was married to a man called Flanagan, who was really just a Flanagan, an American.
Yeah, I often, that often puzzles me. Why is it, this religion allows you guys to have 5 and 10 wives, but the women can't have.
No, the limit is 4. But I tell
you. Okay. Well, then if you allow 4, I can have 4 husbands.
Maybe Maybe you as a woman, I would have liked to be one of your husbands so that you could mind me and I could stay home.
Oh, really?
look pretty, yes. So that is the job of a man in Islam. And I would dress up nice, and I would be very happy. You go out and you work and you bring all the food and things like that. You buy me
it don't work so, Imam.
So
you buy me
Imam,
and things like that. That's how it works. Eh?
so Imam, do you currently have 4 wives?
No, I have 3 wives. My first wife died in October of last year. It's almost a year.
Okay, and once that person passed away, you can replace that person, or you can
What's that?
Can you marry a 4th time?
Yeah, but because of who my first wife is, we say Wawadana. It means that she is irreplaceable. I don't think I can find another wife like that. The mother and father is dead, and she is not born yet. So I don't think the marriage to another wife in my lifetime, I think, is out for sure. God's willing. I think I am through with that. I have 3 other beautiful wives, and that's enough for the time being.
So Imam, here's a question from the chat, right? It says, what is Imam Abu Bakr job and source of income? People want to know your business.
Well, I'm involved in construction. Yeah,
Okay.
and the houses that my wife live in, I build them myself. That's it. I don't depend on any money from the congregation, because it is a poor congregation. So I most times I help them more than they help me. But like I said, I know what is the purpose of money. Money only has 2 purposes: to look after yourself and your family, and then to create opportunities for others. That's the only purpose for money. If you know a better purpose, I would like to know, but I think that is the only purpose for money.
Well, I have a couple questions. You raised some issues about the prisons, and and something that we also have been very concerned about, and because some of the guys reached out to us, and we are aware of some things that you're talking about. Do you plan to deal with this going forward, and also with what's happening on the community, with how the police handles the young men compared to, in different areas in your area? How do you plan to deal with this far as the issues going on there? I mean, we do have some genuine issues where some of the young men are engaging the police very hostile manner. So we want to get some kind of a community-based understanding where there is less hostility between the police and the people. I think we can resolve that. So is there something that you have in mind that you can move forward with?
Well, yes. First of all, there has been, at different times, police officers, senior police officers, like the Deputy Commissioner of Crime and things like that, who we have worked with. And they would say, look here, Imam, we have warrants for X, Y, Z, Z, Z. You is the man on the street. Instead of the police going to look for these people, and there's some shootout or something and somebody gets killed, why don't you bring them in to the courts, and we will not object to bail, so that when they see the police or the police see them, they don't have to run, and so we avoid the conflicts. And we had on about 2 or 3 occasions, we had senior officers who we worked with like that. Once I got the name of the person and what they were charged for, I would solicit a lawyer, because we are lawyers, and I would get the lawyer to take him into the station. He would be formally charged, for what it is. He would appear in court the next morning, and the senior officer would have been the Assistant Commissioner of Crime, or at that time, he would not object to bail. So the person would be out on bail. Therefore, when the police saw him, there would be no means for him to run from the police, and the police shoot at him and maybe kill him, and he comes to court when his time is due. And that was one way that worked very, very successful for us. But as time go along, these police officers change, and you get police officers who are very hostile towards young people, and they think that is the way that they can grow in their promotion levels. and they're failing. I can also draw to your attention that when I was a young police officer, there was only about 2 Indians in my group of 27, and the Indians usually never joined the police service during 1959, yeah, and thereon. But now the police are fully in the service, but most of them are officers because they came in with qualifications. While the Africans came in with nothing but a big brute force, right? And so when the promotion comes, that these Indians with all the BAs and masters and things like that, they're easily promoted. Most of them are officers. Most of them are officers, as opposed to the big brutal police who you know them big and who kill these young people. And they stay in that without any ranks for many years, and that's it. So again, there's the contradiction again, and the importance of education. Because when the promotion advisory board sits, they're not going to promote you who, when I have 2 murder cases, I kill 3 people, I do this, before somebody who has a master's in business. You understand what I'm saying?
So you're saying the educated guys handling the issue in a much different way?
The Indians are the educated ones, and they are the officers. Most of them are officers in the service, and they join long after the other African police officers. I'm telling you the truth. There's no reason for me to lie.
But Gary, Gary, you hear the point the Imam raised? The Imam raised the point that at one point in time, right, the Indians had no use for the police service.
No, they never joined. They
didn't join. That wasn't because they were discriminated against and they weren't allowed to join. But that's the point. And that's the point, that's important point that you're making. However, like subsequent to that, they will be very educated. They came into the police force, they had bachelor's degree, they had MBAs, they had different degrees. And when time comes for promotions, they were the ones that get promoted because the other person joined. They might have just finished primary school. They might have just finished.
Yeah, but I understand that. But what I'm looking at, are they people different?
Gary, yes. You have raised the point, Gary. You have raised the point that why is the police force like that? And I told you.
It was not just the police force. It was across the board. But let's deal with this issue. What I'm looking at right now, we will deal with that. But what I'm trying to address here is the Imam brought up how he's resolving the issue. And he just brought out another point that I'm trying to understand, is the Indian officers approaching the situation in a more diplomatic way instead of a less aggressive way? Is that how it's been done?
Yes. By far. You get my answer? Did you hear me?
Yeah. I was trying to understand that because you dealing with it.
I say yes, by far. In any case, all these squads that they make and these special ops and things like that, that is not the Indians. The Indians are in the offices, they are the administrators, they are in the payroll departments and things like that. They're the ones with the qualifications. They deserve it because they have the qualification.
But it's not a beat them up, shoot them up kind of approach. They are handling it in a more diplomatic way. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying that, yes. If they are out on a patrol, they would be more diplomatic and they would be less inclined to shoot somebody than the African would. I mean, I'm telling you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
And Iman, when people come into the village, right, we speak truth to power in the village. You know what I mean? And that's what we learn. We bring people in here, and because we have all different type of people, here in the village talking to us. But Imam, right, what we want to do, right? Let me see if there's any more questions in the chat. Oh, somebody had said, Iman, that men are not the providers anymore. They're not even protectors. Yeah, Imam, that's wrong. Men are not the providers anymore, even protectors.
Oh.
What do you say about that?
Where are you speaking about it? Where you live or where I live?
Let me speak on in Trinidad. In Trinidad, where you live.
Where you live, where you live, there's the unemployment where men, can get checks and things. They're not working and things like that. In Trinidad, that don't apply. If you're not working, you don't have no check to get from no government. So you have to work. You have to find some way, some means, to be able to sustain your family.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about two different societies. Your societies have a lot of loopholes. A lot of men in your societies do not work. And they get checks from unemployment or whatever. In this society, if you do not work, you're not going to get any check from any unemployment or anything.
So Imam, another person asks Imam if government gives him any money or grants or anything otherwise.
Not a cent. I just told you that for 40 years. Not a cent.
Yeah. But the person just asked the question, so I wanted to. They must didn't hear when you first answered it. So I just wanted to ask it.
Yeah. Government don't give me nothing at all. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. As a matter of owing me now and they're not paying me.
Yeah. So another person said, Ansem, back in the day, the TTPS wanted men, especially of a certain body build and stature, to join the police force. And Africans fit that requirement more. Apparently, I was told so in my line of work as a journalist.
No. The truth be told is that in the 60s and things like that, the Americans were here. And Trinidadians rather go and work for the Yankee dollar, what we used to call it, than to go and join the police service. So about 80% of the police would have been Grenadians and Bajans at that time in the 60s, yeah? So, and of course, you have to be 5'8". You have to have a body statute. You can't be a little mini thing to join the police service. They have requirements. So yes, that is true. But the Indians were not interested in the police service. They were interested in money, and they become successful by their money endeavors, by their businesses and things like that. Like I say, African tried also to do business, and then they make a law to arrest and lock up Africans, and the law was called the Persistent Idlers Act. So that they had to go back, they forced them to go back on the cane field and on the estates to work, because they did not want them to develop their own skills and their own entrepreneurship. That was not.
Oh, good. Want to see what happened there? Just kick him out, Just like that, Okay, folks, that was the Imam just get kicked out of the of in the village, just like that, boy. Something happened. Let me say welcome to Corbin Henry. Just like that.
That's
Anyway,
PNM.
MP Paray was in the back room for a while and he didn't see you, so we will reschedule him for another day.
Oh, Gary, I didn't see him at all,
Yeah, he told me he was not in at 8:30 and sent me a message. Anyway,
yeah, I didn't see him at all. I didn't see him at all.
That's the PNM working. PNM kicking out people.
Oh God! Look, you hear that guy kick out by wax? You think go on just so why? Or they think it's easy, boy?
The PNM walking, boy. They're walking.
In the village of the dark triplets, boy, they're breaking all kind of records there, boy. Nah, maybe battery died though.
We'll see.
Yeah, we go get him back, though, folks. We'll definitely get him back.
Yeah.
No, we'll get him back, and but this happens to us quite often here in the village with the dark triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We have brought in quite a few people in here.
Look, Ron vexed because you gotta wait. Ron, watch yourself. And my dog want Rushton to come on now.
Right. Somebody says history have taught us since school days that the Indians were studying to become lawyers and doctors, while the Africans were told to study to get a government work. Or we want to know, Imam, how you can help us get back our DSS money.
I want to know why they get 4 wives in their religion and I can't have 4 husbands.
Not cake. Anyway, not cake. I will leave you alone. I go put you in the corner like little run honor too.
And he explained that the man is supposed to be the provider.
I
Yeah,
don't
woman.
that
I
is a
say, you know, just so they cut the
lame,
program, you know. Yeah, they cut it just like that, you know. Yeah,
that is
maybe
a
his battery
lame
dead.
excuse, Gary. If in that religion and the man could have 4 wives, I could have 4 husbands. Equal
Guyana
opportunity. I don't want to
was
hear you. Equal
not an American
opportunity.
It's not an American system.
What?
If you look what's happening in Afghanistan, the woman, they send back the woman in the back seat, you know. In Afghanistan,
I don't care. If the man could
that's
have 4 husbands, 4 wives, I could have 4 husbands. End of the story.
what I
But Diana, you don't want no 4
believe.
husband. What you talking about?
I
They
want
don't
4
want no 4
husbands.
husband.
I want 4 if I could get 4.
And you can mind all 4 of them? You minding all 4 of them?
No, I ain't minding you.
But you have to mind them. That's
What you
part
mean
of
I
what
have
it
to mind?
is. You
What
have
do you
to.
mean what do
If
you
you're
mean
in
I
the
have to mind?
religion, if you're in the religion, and you have 4 husbands, you have to mind all 4 of them.
What do you mean I have to mind you?
But guys, he had to mind all 4 of his wives.
That is
They
the
had to
condition.
mind me.
Oh, I mean, nah, well, you can't be in the religion then.
They had to mind me.
Nah. Then you don't want to be part of the religion?
They have to mind me.
Nah.
4 husbands had to mind me. How about that?
Yeah.
Let me go and break the thing and break it in. If they could have 4 wives, I want 4 husbands.
But
No,
all right,
you
but
could.
beside that, what I see, far as I see here, I don't see anything that he's doing wrong in his community. I think he's doing the right thing that has to be, regardless of the religious part of it, he is doing things to educate the people, children, and something should be financially supported. And I mean, he has to get real and serious with Dr. Rowley. I mean, don't mama guy me, man. Come on, don't
But
play me like that.
Gary, you know what I also took out of this is that when you look at the Friday prayer, right, and you look at him now, you could see that a lot of things could have been taken out of context, right? And tonight, to me, it seemed like you've put things into context.
He clarified things.
Yes.
I was expecting some kind of hostile, vicious action, you know.
No, look, he come back.
but
Look, he's back. Hold on a minute.
All right, get him in.
Yeah.
Yes.
You are back inside.
My apologies. The battery just ran low.
Okay.
We thought,
Yeah. Put it down a little bit. Put your battery down a little bit. Bring it up. Bring your face down a little bit. You need to come down a little bit. There
Right.
you go.
Okay. Right. That's good.
Yeah. Move it to your right a little bit.
Okay.
Go to your right.
No. Okay.
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
Right.
So what? So we got about that. But what we were saying is that, I mean, you brought a lot of. What we were saying is that you on Friday, and you have clarified a lot of things that you said then, and I mean, it comforted. I believe it comforted a lot of people, with our discussion here tonight. I mean, you really didn't. You say what you had to say, but there was comforting that there was a follow-up to what you did yesterday. And I think you explained a lot more.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate you giving me that opportunity because, a lot of people misunderstood some deliberately what I said, and a lot of people tried to make mischief, tried to make enmity between the Prime Minister and myself, who they believe I have a fairly good relationship with since they have never done anything for the school for 40 years. And then for the first time, he has come and helped us with the school. So there's a lot of mischief. There's a lot of mischief when people are putting up some posts and then it's getting knocked down and the post is not strong enough to stand up. So the post getting knocked down and you know how it is.
And let me tell you, Imam, is that, we here at WZYE 95.9 FM, we have brought a lot of, important people. We consider you to be an important person in Trinidad and Tobago.
I appreciate
that. And when I reach out to your son, Faoud, I want to thank him so very kindly because he's my friend. I call him a partner,
All right.
We have never really met each other, but from social media. So I said, you know what? Let me reach out to him and ask him if he get his father to come on the program, and he willingly accepted. He said, "Let me talk to my dad, and he spoke to you and you willingly accepted to come on the program. And I also felt that it would be a good platform for you. So this is a global platform for you to come and explain, you know, what people may trying to, you know, put in a certain way. You know, people just try to, you know, kind of
Yes, of
switch
course, of
things.
course. Yes, and I appreciate that a lot, that you giving me this opportunity for clarification.
Yeah. And that's why I asked the question very straightforward. What actually did you meant? And I had the quote, you know, so you could explain the code, because people, you know, when you started talk, people think back to 1990. You know, people is already. You know what I mean? You know, and I didn't want people to go back there if you wasn't going there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, so that was really appreciate that, man. And Diana and Gary, I don't know if you all have any other thing for the Imam, but we have kept him here almost over 2 hours, and nicely.
I don't mind to be
But
quite.
listen to this, But listen to this now, No,
Right.
if we ask you back next time and you ain't do a Friday prayer and we want you to come back, I hope you come back there, you know.
Yeah, yes. Anytime.
All right, you're promising now. Make a promise because you know this on video, you know.
Promise anytime you want me to come back, I will come back.
All right. Then
It has been good company with you. But before you go, I guess everybody on your panel has unanimously agreed that there are great injustice has been done to us, and that it would help greatly if you would pen a letter to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago and tell him you're concerned about this issue, concerned about the Jamaat and Muslimeen school, and you're concerned that they're not properly dealt with, and you're concerned about the prison situation, and you're also concerned about, you know, the education system. Simply that people are concerned with what is happening, and they would like you to know that they are concerned. I think that will go a great way to as regards to helping bring the awareness to him and to those who are responsible for making decisions.
Well, Imam, let me do this, Imam.
I support that idea, and I think Diana was there.
Yeah, but Gary, let me do this. Let me say to the Imam, Imam, whenever anyone comes into the village, we say, and this we say to you, if you had to send and what we do, Imam, is that after this, we cut out this piece with a message to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right,
okay?
right.
And it goes far and wide. So here we are. Imam Yasin Abu Bakr, if you had to send a message to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago that will keep Christopher Rowley, what would be your message to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, first of all, I would thank him for, after 40 years, bringing a little ease to our school that was about to be closed, right, because of the pandemic. So he brought a little ease by this stipend, and I would like to thank him, and especially Mr. Stuart Young. That was the first thing. I would also like to draw his attention to the issues that are before him, and that we are willing at any time to assist because the Prime Minister has recognized our ability and what we do in the community, you know, because on 2 occasions he gave us, not us alone, he gave the churches money. He gave us less than he gave the other churches, but on 2 occasions he gave us $100,000 so that we could make hampers for the poor and the destitute communities that he know we work in. So he is in recognition of the work that we do. It's not that he don't know what we do, and that he feels that he's not compelled to assist in easing the problems that exist in the poor community, that people don't go. We are the ones in the destitute, the communities that are poor and destitute. We are the one who deals with the drug addicts. We are the one who do with the rehabilitation program. We are the one who deal with the problems, the real base problems in the society. And he knows that, and he recognizes that. And you know, we have a saying, put your money where your mouth is. So he has put his money where his mouth is, in a very minute way. And we know that he can do a lot better. And of course that we're looking forward to be included in the Concordat so that we can reopen our secondary school. We can continue to provide useful citizens. We can continue to provide for the people who are unable, to have a better education because they can't afford education and things like that. That is what I would like to say to the Prime Minister, and to keep his promise. And we are willing to work with him, with what in any way that is good and progressive for the society. And that the prison situation must urgently be addressed, or else, all hell is going to break loose. And that he should just revisit the Bastille Day and see what happened when they told the Queen that the people had no bread, and she said, feed them cakes. Everybody, the people who's always the power, the people broke down the Bastille and killed everybody and chop off the Queen's neck on a guillotine. That is what we would like to remind the Prime Minister of. So, and that he has our support in anything that is good and progressive. He has our support.
So yes, Imam, Imam, we want to thank you so very kindly, man. That
I appreciate that
you came in and you was nice and warm, and you really brought a lot. And you have so far, since we have run this program, and I got to say this program has had the most amount of views ever since we started here on WZYE 95.9 FM.
But that is very nice.
Yeah. This program, this is the most ever amount of views that we have had here on WZYE 95.9 FM. So that's why I've said that you are very influential person.
I would welcome coming back anytime, since this is the most views that you've ever had.
Yes.
Coming back anytime.
Yeah. Well, we keep it true to power. If that shows that people want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, right? I appreciate that, and I want to thank them.
Yeah. That shows, they want to. I mean, whether they're pro or anti, they want to hear what you have to say. And as we said, Imam, this was a great follow-up, an immediate follow-up, and you did this globally. So you did it outside of Trinidad and Tobago. So all the people who may have been thinking one thing and thinking another thing, you have basically clarified it all tonight.
Right. Thank you very, very much for giving me this opportunity. And to the rest of the panel, thank you also, and God bless you. Good night. Salaam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Bakr, before you go, what I would like to say, the Prime Minister is in government. And I don't believe, even though he gave you a stipend, I don't believe that's good enough. I believe that he's in the position to do better, and he should do it.
I appreciate that very, very much. And I hope you would let him know that in any way that you can. Thank you very, very much. Yeah?
Okay, then. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so very kindly.
Right. Good night, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
So, walaikum assalam. So, folks, let me say, let me add Diana here. Folks, let me say, oh God, Gary.
Understand.
Andres Jackie say, Andres say, August Jackie, August Gary, and repeat, laugh out loud.
What do you mean laugh out loud?
No. She say you're on repeat. No. She's making a joke, Gary. It's a little joke. Come on, man. That's why you put LOL at the end.
Yeah. But what I'm saying to you, Dr. Rowley is the Prime Minister of the country. He's holding the possession of the Treasury. He's in control of all ministries, the Ministry of Education. And this is the best he can do. Give him a stipend.
But Gary, he's gonna do better. He's gonna do better. Let me say he's gonna do better. After you listen to the program, he's gonna do better. He's gonna do better.
Then he's gonna do better.
Gary, let me say a special welcome to Marcia Brave Boy. Also Kevin Henry. I don't know if you know who Kevin Henry is.
Hello, Marcia.
Gary, I don't know who Kevin Henry is. Hey, Kathy Jofi also join us tonight too. Hey, Kathy, welcome as well. Marcia says, Bakr brings showers of blessings to WZYE 95.9 FM, 95 radio. Big newsmaker, big audience, blessings to all. Yeah, man. Yeah. Full 100. Kathy is my family, you know. Ellis, what happened, Ellis? Ellis say Wall Street. Where you want? Ellis, where you want? Ellis, I'm going to joke tonight at 4.
They tell me, what part of the world I could get 4 husbands?
That's so much I
In
don't like.
Nepal? Is it
I probably
Nepal?
understand you though. Nepal? Eh?
Somewhere 4 husbands I could get. I said, Tibet. I said,
Tibet.
nah, them men too short for me.
Wait, Fish Trixie. Prakash is bucking hard. Run. Hey, before you go, Troy Macho said, but so much new people joined tonight. Diana, I said I was Ian. Let me say thank you. Yeah, good night to him too as well. Listen, we really want to thank, Yasin Abu Bakr for joining us tonight, because it was a quick thing. We did a kind of quick thinking and reached out to his son, and he joined us. And for all those who were sitting in the background that I didn't see, I apologize. And we are definitely going to make it up to you guys. But these type of things is a once in a lifetime things that happen, on the heels of that Friday prayer that he had. So we apologize to anyone who was sitting in the background and I didn't see. So I do apologize. So
Top
Rob,
of the hour approaching.
oh yeah. So guy. Kavita Paul. Kavita, nah, Kavita. He's not at our word. Yeah, boy. Kati say, and some we break record over 300 viewers. All my rat run out of here. Oh, God. Yeah. Diana and Gary, Kati Jofi say, and some we break records over 300 views. All man rat run out of the hole, boy. Laugh out loud. Yeah, because listen, because them I don't understand now, that we could get the best of the best in Trinidad and Tobago. They have to understand that. We could get the best of the best on WZYE 95.9 FM.
And pretty soon, Dr. Keith Rowley is going to have to make an appearance in the
Yeah,
village.
he will come, man. He will come just now.
Don't worry. Diana's going to get him.
Yeah, he
He's
will
gonna
come.
come
He
here.
will come. He will
Yeah.
come. He will come. I sure
And
he
we
will
are,
come.
going to be very cordial to him.
Oh, we respectful. We always respectful.
That's
So
right.
let's go for a quick station identification, and we'll be right back after this.
You're listening to WZYE 95.9 FM. You are listening to WZYE 95.9 FM, the most influential name in Caribbean radio in the tri-state area. Broadcasting from East Orange, New Jersey, the most influential name in Caribbean radio, WZYE 95.9 FM.
And of course, we are back with you. It's in the village with the DAC Triplets on WZYE 95.9 FM. We want to thank all of you for joining. And of course, we come to you every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for 7 to 9 p.m. Kavita Paul say, thank you, Mr. Abu, for creating rivalry amongst people of Trinidad and Tobago. Nah, Kavita, I don't think so. Nah. Not Skik say he's seeing 53, not 300 troops. Not Skik. Well, listen to this fella. Let me pop this first quote from this fella. Little Ron Horner. He always, I hear Abu Bakr.
So I come to see Venom.
You are listening.
He come to see Venom.
95.
Right? Hey, look, Rowley now come. Yeah. COVID Henry, where's that one, boy? COVID Henry, only if you want me to tell you people who you are, tell them. But I ain't telling you people who you are. Unless you want me to tell them. It's up to you. Andres, Jackie, I joined late the first time I want to see Gary face. Gary, Andre want to see your face, boy. Gary.
Who want to see my face?
Andre Jackie. She said, I joined late, and this is my first time. I want to see Gary face. And she put 2 eyes.
He looked like Ian without glasses.
Hey, Kevin, unless you want me to put, your name, I'm putting it there. Unless you want me to put your name. My dog said Rodrigo. My dog say, well, we go fling away. You what? Fling away your laptop and thing when he start to get questioned.
No, I will be the buffer between you all and Dr. Rowley.
Yeah,
Y'all are not going to
yeah.
upset my prime minister.
Yeah. Well, let me
No.
upset the prime minister.
No.
Upset the prime minister? What?
No.
His licks? His
Yeah,
licks
No,
up
we
there?
ain't gonna upset my prime minister, you know.
especially you, Gary. I will be
What?
the buffer. You're
I
not going to
gotta,
upset my prime
I gotta
minister.
mute him. I
No,
gotta
no.
mute him.
That the first time I go mute Gary Mike.
Yep.
I going on Facebook.
Gary,
He doing it.
Gary, first time I gotta mute your mic, but I say, Gary, hello, Gary,
What?
hello. Like
What?
what I'm supposed to do many underground report, right?
What?
When I call that program, right? But I'm not before them and say, hello, Wall Street. So they're on the radio, they say, hello, Wall Street. You there? You there? All tell all you, the boy living in that sub basement, he have no money on his phone.
Let me tell you something. After all I've been through to help people that he lock out the country, boy,
No, I'm not going to allow you to bash him,
allow
okay?
me
Yep.
bash him.
No. No.
Yeah. Lana, Lana, we open up WhatsApp soon. We open up WhatsApp for people to call him. We go get there. We get in there. We there.
Hey, give me a
But we
second.
want to make sure it right.
Hurry up.
We want
Now,
to make sure it right.
now, if Stuart Young comes in here, y'all can have a go at him.
No. I holding Dr. Rowley personally.
No.
Watch. Hey, Albert Montano said, Gary, you forget the lifetime PNM supporter token. Who's that? Dana, that is you?
Nah.
Me?
Who's the
I think
lifetime PNM supporter?
Not me.
I don't know who that is.
Y'all can have a go at Stuart Young. Y'all cannot go after Ethelbert neither. Okay?
You think he will come?
Ethelbert, I'm going to send Ethelbert a letter. Ethelbert, if you're listening, I want you to make an appearance in the village.
Yeah, Ellis, I'm sorry, boy. I didn't see your compliment at all to the man. It passed me in truth. I apologize. Next time, though, when we bring him in next time. I'll give my number privately so you can text me.
Albert, I have two prime ministers, Mia Motley and Dr. Rowley.
Hey, Diana, Coven Henry says Diana need to apologize about the PNM statement. Which statement is that?
What PNM statement I make?
Which statement is that, Coven?
Oh, you mean when I said they kick him out? Okay.
No, I don't know. Diana, Marcia Brave Boy say hello, sweetie. Hello, Diana, sweetie.
Hello, Marcia.
Yeah. I didn't know you was a sweetie, boy.
I am.
What type of sweetie?
A coconut sugar plum.
I holding Dr. Rowley, and I still hold him personally responsible because I reached out to him directly in his office in reference to what was being done to our citizens outside the country and what the decision they were making. And I am not joking with him at all.
But I ain't lay I ain't gonna lay a strangle him. I vex with him too, but I ain't gonna lay a strangle him, you know. You gotta go easy on him. Maybe Gary, maybe he's a senior citizen, you know, so you gotta go easy on him.
Yeah, all right. So not cake say Marcia go give closing comment. Marcia Brave Boy, when we come into the village, we just allow people. Listen to this one. Marcia Brave Boy and Cathy Jofield. You know Cathy? Cathy Jofield. Cathy Jofield and Marcia Brave Boy. Put closing comments in the chat. We allow someone who come in the chat, and new people now, to put closing comments in the chat. So guys, put closing comments in the chat. Cathy Jofield and Marcia Brave Boy, could you put your closing comments in the chat? Yeah. Andrea, invite Mr. Hines so he can talk about the justice system.
Yeah, Mr. Ethelbert Hines.
Yeah, Rowley. Small pin and no pin coming too. Who is no pin? Rowley? Rowley from Toronto. We are Toronto, Rowley in here. Rowley, who say?
Better get these names for people, boy.
Hey, yeah, boy, Ron. Jofield is to beg on you, know. How Ron know that? Ron, how you know she? How you know Jofield? Oh, apologize his statement about the laptop, Diana.
What laptop?
What laptop, Kevin?
You mean when they got the kick off the show?
I know.
That PNM kick him out? PNM kicked him out. I said it.
No, the laptop. What laptop statement you make?
I don't know what laptop said. I mean, you must be talking about when the imam got kicked out. I said PNM kicked him out.
Look. Mikos coming. I mean Picos.
Oh boy,
Picos. This Picos fella, this handsome fella, seem to be proud to say he's a PNM. That only means one thing. What that means, Picos?
Oh boy.
I mean, Mikos, what that means?
What? Because it's my mother-in-law family.
Cathy's family boy. Cathy Joe Cathy, we ever following this thing? Oh, I gotta talk to she under the table, but this fella name Run DMC. Cathy ever following your name Run DMC? I mean, little Ron Horner have to sit in the corner.
Whatever little Ron Horner.
Cyril Ramadan said, my takeaway, Abu Bakr is in collusion with the PNM to the detriment of Afro-Trinis. He plays both ends against the middle. I admire his courage, though. All right, Cyril Ramadan. You know what I mean? Hey, where that fella, boy?
Tommy?
No, Ulrich.
He was in earlier.
Culvin said, yes, that statement, the PNM take him out. What is that one? Which one is that?
I don't know.
Okay. Hey, clarify that statement, boy. Culvin, clarify that statement for me.
I don't know.
I like Mikos though. No? Mikos just come in. One comment. This some fella seem to be proud. Yes, I was a PNM supporter, but I know that.
It gave me a headache.
So when guys say wait a second, guy don't get a headache.
He just give me a headache too, a toothache.
And Tommy does get a headache too.
Let me tell you something.
A
You think you have
bellyache.
a headache? What you know kind of headache I had for all these months I was dealing with stranded citizens outside the country before you guys joined me? You know what kind of headache I had?
Yeah. Listen
to see
to
this Prime Minister. Know that I reaching out to his office, trying to relay what's happening to the people and their decision and trying to get them to change the decision. And they won't? No.
You see my map of Tobago on my forehead? I see autonomy in the future.
Marcel Brave Boy, if you're still there, can you put closing comments in the chat, please? Cathy Jofield already put some closing comments. What? This Pico's fella. Diana, Cousin, you said the PNM take him off the program. he take the human off the program.
Yeah, they did.
I tell you the man batch you there. Why did the first thing you had to say, Diana? I tell you the man batch you there.
Yes, they did.
Why the first thing you had to say was that?
They sure did. I don't trust the PNM.
No, man.
They sure
did.
No,
you're right.
They sure did.
You jump on the PNM case.
Yeah, they sure did.
You sound like Picos now. You sound like
They
Picos.
sure did. They took him out. Took him off the thing. Yep, they sure did. Yep.
Hey, Picos. Oh God. All them people know in the chat is a PNM supporter. Right? They know that. So what you want me to do? Picos, tell me in the chat who you want me to support.
You give him a migraine.
But no, you have to tell me who to support.
Can you just be neutral for a while? Can you remain neutral?
Oh, you want me to remain neutral?
I'm neutral. Can't you be neutral?
That's what you want to do.
So why are you supporting a party that is oppressing and suppressing and depressing?
So tell me who to support. You tell me who to support.
Be neutral. Be independent.
But what if? Look.
Why must you be supporting a political party? Why can't you be supporting yourself? Why can't you? Well, you know why I'm a
support myself.
Anselm, why?
I don't want to support Pep.
Why
Pep only get 5,000 votes.
No, why Anselm? I don't understand it. Why is it, especially in the Caribbean, you know, people find it necessary that they must identify with a political party and not as a human being? I am Anselm Lebon.
Diana, of course I am Anselm Lebon.
Period.
Diana, in life, we all make choices.
I choose to be Waveney Diana Benskin.
Correct. So you make a choice, and I respect your choice.
So why you have to
makes
be
a choice, and I respect his choice.
So why you okay? So why must you be? I am a supporter of the PNM. Why must it be that?
So
why
you
can't
tell
you
me
just? Why can't you just be Anselm Lebon?
But you tell me what you want me to support. Tell me what I should support.
Why can't you just be Anselm Lebon?
But I am Anselm Lebon.
And that's it.
And in this country, I support the Democrats.
I am independent.
What?
I remain independent.
Yeah, look, we have a pep in here, boy. Say Ramadan, boy. Welcome, boy. We have a pep. We like pep too, you know. Orange, boy. Say Ramadan said, I could have been 5,001. Not scared, right? Pep's getting less vote in the next election.
Why must I be Why must I be PNM? Why must I UNC and PNM? Why?
But Diana, you could be ILP.
No, I no. I am Waveney Diana Benskin. And if I was in Trinidad, that's the way it was gonna be. I don't want no party card for nobody.
Diana, why do you tell Ron? Why do you tell little Ron Horner, cheese stick, breadstick, Mad Dog, Haley, Rory, Ulrich? Nah, Ulrich. I don't think Ulrich is at UNC. Nadia. I don't know what Picos is. Picos is nothing. Picos
this is the problem. This is the problem.
Why them? Why ask not kicker? Why them that support UNC?
Tell them
stop supporting UNC now.
Be an individual and
Diana, can you call the name and tell them stop supporting UNC for me?
Be an individual, and if they don't provide, and then you do not support them when election time comes, and kick the tail out, kick them out. Kick them out and put a crapo there. And if the crapo don't perform, you put a batty mamsel. And if the batty mamsel don't perform, put a grasshopper. But stop with the UNC, PNM, ILP, PEP, PRE, POP, whatever. That's what's killing y'all. Be your individual selves and stop holding giving these parties your navel string. And you pound the flesh.
But Diana, look, Pico's brother coming. Pico's brother, Richard Maraj.
I don't support no party.
Let me put up.
When election day come, I just look at historical and how they perform, and my community and my people and in the country in a better state, and I go on them things.
Dan, let me take on Richard Maraj there. Like he living in a Maraj, right? I think this is his first time here. Richard Maraj. Richard, I put the thing up on the thing, and you come in just like how Pico's come in the other day. You know? Ellie says she don't support UNC at all. I call all the names.
You know.
Yeah, Richard Maraj now. Listen to him, man, because he just come in, right? He's a Maraj come lately. He said, and Richard, we welcome you into the village of the dark triplet. We keep it real in here. He said, that man is an ass. Democrats. Democratics. But he's an idiot. Support what is right. Support good governance. Well, Richard Maraj, the same thing I said to Picos the other day, I'm going to say to you as well. This idiot is a professor at a university. This idiot have 2 children who graduated from one of the best colleges in this country. This idiot have 20 world records in Masters track and field. Right? This idiot worked 23 years on Wall Street. Right? So Richard Maraj, thank you so very kindly for your compliment. It is highly appreciated. I want you to keep on with your comments. I do appreciate it very much. And not only that, but there's a little black boy from Chumaka Clavantil to building one apartment 2 ones. Thank you so very kindly, Richard. I appreciate your compliment. I love these kind of compliments, man. It's really nice, man. I love it. You know, we keep it real in the village, you know. No other way we keep it. That's how we keep it, man. Yeah,
I don't live my life, you know, as a UNC, no. No, no, no. You give you what you've done, and this is what I feel. What you've done, you've taken your power and given it away. You've given your power away, living under a banner of a title of a party. You've given your individual power away, and that is how they manipulate you. That's what they do.
But Diana, look,
Diana, after
uh,
59 years of independence,
They
right? And
manipulate
seeing
you.
the condition that they treat your community and they underfund you, and look how Mr. Bakar has been through, right?
They
Where is
manip.
the school, Ansem? Where is the school?
uh,
Where is
it's
the school
cool.
located? I forget to ask him where the school was located, where
Uh,
he's situated in Trinidad. But anyway, what I'm saying to you, look at what he has been doing, and they refuse. I mean, Dr. Raleigh has been in government 6 years now. He didn't just
listen, I hear you, I hear you, um, um, I laughing because of these guys going.
no. What I'm saying, forget these guys for a second. I'm
Yeah.
saying I am taking into consideration the Prime Minister has been sitting in office for 6 years now, right? It's not now, and the man make a little rant, and you go throw him a little stipend. You in possession of the treasury, you in control the Minister of Education.
But Gary, you see,
control
Gary,
the
you see,
cabinet.
but Gary, nobody else ain't giving man the stipend.
All right, well, forget nobody else.
Dr.
What I'm
only give
saying
him a
is,
stipend, and you gotta say show him a little stipend. Nobody else ain't throw it him.
yeah, but now he's the Prime
Nobody else
Minister.
ain't give him. Nobody else never
I
give
said
him.
the man is the Prime Minister. He should say we fixing that.
But Gary, that's what he said. That's what he said, and he gave him something. That could be the start of something.
But here, fellas, here. How my problem? How does this little stipend lift the people out of eternal poverty?
But Diana, you have to start somewhere. You have to start.
You know, you're giving them fish, or you're teaching them to fish. This is my this inherent chronic poverty is what's killing people. And you know, you're throwing them this. Look, what I'm going to say? You're strategically throwing them this stipend because you know there's things coming around the corner where you want their finger in the ink. Okay, they know how to do it, and my people are stupidly gonna go and put a finger back in the ink for the same stupidness and remain in poverty.
But both sides of the coin, Diana. It's both sides of the coin. Both sides of the coin.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
PNM has ruled the country
They're gonna
for the
stay in
majority of our
poverty.
independence. Majority of our independence, right? Dr. Rowley has been a sitting Prime Minister for over 6 years now. And the stipend, it should have been the actual money coming from the Ministry of Education. He should have gone to cabinet and say, this is the situation here. This is something that is very essential to the community. What the man has been doing is not now he doing this, and he has shown a record of success. He has shown a record of success. So there is justified reason that I, as Prime Minister, am instructing the cabinet to take action and take it now. That is the kind of thing I was looking for in Dr. Rowley.
Still the stipend thing. You got what you've turned, you Dr. Rowley and Impsbert and what the other one name? Cox. You all have turned the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago into a hamper receiving society. And I'm fed up. People calling me, telling me they're broke and they want help. Get the people.
You're the Minister of Social Development.
The economy. Fix the blinking economy and get the people back on their feet. What is going on? I'm tired now, Dr. Rowley. You, Donna Cox and Impsbert. I'm tired and fed up of you all now. If you all can't do the job, move aside and let somebody else do it. They got the people down there. They're living in poverty.
But
fed up of them.
You see what has happened? What's not cakes coming? This is what has happened.
Fed up of them.
The same thing Gary just say. And you just say, this is a little thing. You're not cakes. Walls boy is an anomaly. A successful PNM. Change quick walls. So they're calling me an anomaly. You see? You see? Right? Nadia says, Ansem, I work for my food, I get nothing from no government. I never get nothing from no government either. My dog, correct is right, but I like Ansem put some out of place people in their place. Yeah, they're out of timing, man. Oh God, they come into the chat, we like all and all kind of thing. Or they come in with them kind of dotish kind of calling people idiot and all.
Idiots and all
know
that,
me,
yeah.
you don't even know me, and
Yeah,
you calling me
fast
an
and out
idiot.
of place.
Or they fast and out of place, man. Yeah, don't come in here with that kind of dotishness. You go call a professor. Why do you don't go and call? Anyway, let me not go there.
I'm glad he called you an idiot and not
Yeah.
Don't waste time to acknowledge that now. We can run a good conversation. What I'm saying, right? What I'm saying to you is, I believe that we can do far better than that. Number one, it is
look at next
essential.
one. Hold on, guys. Look at next one come. Our next one come.
Don't
But you
waste time.
still want to lead people into slavery with all that qualification. Yeah, I want to lead them. Oh, I can lead them into slavery. What I could do to lead them into slavery? What kind of dotishness is that? You see, you Russell, Warren, I'm giving you 3 PhD. One in dotishology, one in foolishology, and one in stupidology. Take them 3. 3 PhD, they're all in one time. Real dotishness, that dotishness, Russell. Oh God, come on, man.
What do you want to lead people? Lead.
Wait, Russell, I want you to go up in Chumakak, Lavantil, and give each one of the 53 families in Lavantil a hamper. You understand? I want you to go in Mova and pick 10 kids and give them a tablet. I want you to go in Beaton, pick another 10 kids and give them a tablet. That's how I want to put them in slavery. Talk now. You have a PhD in stupidology, foolishology, and dotishology. Or they just go to another program, or they don't come in here with that dotishness, you know. It's real intelligent people in this program here. Don't come here with that dotishness. Go somewhere with that.
Into slavery.
Don't come here with that.
What foolishness he talking?
Don't come. They're giving out all kind of degrees tonight, Lana. All kind of degrees.
No. Don't waste time with that now. What I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying to
Take all them degrees, boy.
Here, people like him.
No, Gary, no.
You have to
when people like that come in, you have to put them in a place one time.
Yeah, but they
can't come with that kind of dotishness. Let them go on other places with that. Yeah, boy, only foolishology, dotishology, and stupidology. 3 PhDs. 3 of them.
Yep.
All of them. Take them.
And a 4th one, jackassology.
A 4th one too, jackassology. There's 4 PhD having a wutumputumkum.
Dude. Lead people into slavery. Or you're trying to get people, teach people to be entrepreneurs, buying people booklets, getting people back home. To their families, that putting people into slavery. Oh Lord, like
or they no come in here in the village and run all them out with that kind of dotishness. Or they no come in here, or they go to other programs in Trinidad and talk to them people like that. Or they can't come in here and talk about that. No, you're not having that, boy. When you come here, you better come in. Come good.
Lead people into slavery.
Yeah, lead people into slavery. What kind of dotishness? But you back in the Stone Age, boy. Don't come in here. You Picos and the other one. Picos good now. Picos, you're all right now. Hey, but yeah, we partner. Nah, Ron, use one of we. Who's so like so? When you
But Anselm though, you know, my thing is right.
Wait, 1 minute, Anna. You're little Ron Horner. Do so like so. When you're beating me like a bubbly, now you're feeling the hurt Wall Street. You just tell me all kind of comment in here, Ron. All kind of thing. You just beat me up in here.
Don't pay Ron no mind. Ron know that we love him.
But listen, not kick say we just kick was like he just kick was there. But we like him too. Just kick me, boy. Left, right, and center. All kind of kick, boy. Better than football. Yeah, hey, Lara, that no joke, you know. Lara don't say anything. Hey, Lara say, answer, I won't say anything tonight. But there's a PNM support who does help all PNM UNC, all. Or remember when that fella say, only people Petuton was going, all. Oh God. Hey, yeah, only I like her. We love only too bad. I ain't gonna lie, man. We love it too bad, man. This program is like no other program, man.
Kavita Paul.
Well,
Who's Kavita?
but, but,
I wonder if that's my friend Paul. Anyway.
I know you're wicked, you know. And that won't go over people's head, girl. No, I don't think that's. I think Kavita Paul is someone new in the village.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she knew in the village.
But back to what Gary was saying, right? What is happening to this extreme poverty has been unveiled and is on display right now, right? And you have this has to be alleviated. You can't, if allowed to continue, what is going to happen to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago?
You see, from China, it's people like Mr. Abu Bakr who have been providing some kind of support, and in the sense that he's providing the ability to give people a chance to enhance their life, which is very essential to the country, right? And they are not getting the support, like the young lady with the Baka movement, who's providing some kind of support for the women there. No help from the government. They're pulling teeth. I mean, we had this young lady from Tobago, the one who looks like Dr. Fate, been providing who wrote the books and stuff like that. I can't remember her name now, but the kind of things that she's doing, and no support from the government. So I mean, who needs that kind of government? It is in the best interest of the country, that the government invests in these kind of programs, so that we don't have to deal with the issues that we're dealing right now. The young men that running around shooting up the place, if they got the right help in the initial stages, they won't be doing what they were doing, and we won't have those problems. But I mean, look, all the jobs, like I always said, all the buildings that put up in Port of Spain there, the people from that area didn't get no jobs there. They didn't get no jobs to pong a piece of iron or break up, mix concrete or nothing. Korea block, they didn't get nothing. And we cannot tolerate that. We have to send a clear message to the government of Trinidad and Tobago and network with those who are fighting for the people, in collaboration with them, like the guys like Jason, Mr. Bakar, who is really has proven himself to be fighting for the people. I just want to emphasize that we should not keep it into where that we are putting one set of people against the other people. You are helping your community, full 100% support. You're helping the children to enhance themselves, 100% support. We don't have to do it in a way that there's creating hostility and animosity between any group of people. All right, we helping our kids. We're doing that. We're not fighting nobody. We helping our children. That is the main focus here. I mean, this is in the best interest of Trinidad and Tobago that these children succeed. And that's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. And the business community should be giving him some support also. I mean, but the government, our holy prime minister, personally responsible for the fact that he's been sitting in office and he's in the position to make a decision. And the man should be recognized, and the paperwork should be drafted, but he get the necessary funding. That's the way I see it. Talk done. He's the prime minister. Talk done. He just buff up everybody, buff the Ministry of Education, buff the Minister of Finance. X amount of money spent and answer him. X amount of money spending, billions of dollars spent. This one friend, that one getting contract, this getting that. Why the hell the man can't get the money to fund the school, which is very essential? You're throwing them a few crumbs here and there, and they're supposed to accept that and be happy with it. We don't want the cupcake. We don't want the crumbs of the cupcake. Give the damn cake. That's the way I see it,
Well, folks, I must say that it was a great show tonight. It was really, 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 really fantabulous. I mean, without Sky Tony is a new person who joined us. Sky Tony, where you joining us from? Sky Tony, where you joining us from? Picos going back with this to boy Picos. We addressed this already, We addressed this last time, about Erica Williams and the loan, we addressed that. Right? Picos going back with that again. I hope you have pressure tabs Wall Street, because high blood pressure is real. Run want to know if run. I will go and drink a Moby or a Sorrel.
What I'm surprised is he supported the SOE, and I don't know if you realize. I mean, he's on the ground. He should realize the impact of the SOE on the people. The ordinary man can't make a living. The small businessman can't make a living. The guy selling doubles was under pressure. You know, the bacon shack man, the man selling chow. You know, I mean, we had to focus on that. These are opportunities for people to build themselves into something bigger. I mean, you know, the drag brothers making the shoes. You're suppressing them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
My dog, thank you very kindly, man. I know you have my back, big time. I know that. Yeah, but Gary, I think when we look at it, when you go years and you ain't getting nothing from plenty people, and one person comes, sometimes the person don't come with a bag full, you know. The person might come with a quarter bag full. And to you, boy, that's so much. Because
no,
you have
I
never
understand
gotten.
that. But what I'm saying, if an ordinary person did that, was fine. But I don't know what time frame he got the funds, and I want us to follow up with him on how things progress, because I think we need to put some pressure on this side, and I would encourage Diana to write that letter on behalf of what he's trying to do, that they get the necessary funding. You know, we do everything on our end. You know, we have to, you know, we have to light the fire under them to get the things moving. Then we need to do that.
PNM messing with my phone, you know.
Hey, Hamadullah Wahid, is that the Calypsonian? Hamadullah, are you the Calypsonian? Hamadullah Wahid, are you the
Anyway, I'm gonna
Calypsonian?
say good night, guys. I gotta take a call. I'll talk later.
All right, no problem. Yeah. Hamadullah, are you the Calypsonian? Good evening. Ade, are you the Calypsonian? Can you? I'm not sure if that's the first time here.
My great grandmother, Miss Benz.
Prakash, thank you so very kindly. First time in the show, really enjoyed it. Thank you so very kindly. No. Marcia, I see your closing comments in here, but the comments are running so fast. I have to go back up to get it. Hold on, Yeah, but the comments, the comment. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
Marcia. Okay, wait up. Hold up. Oh, hold on, Marcia. Hold up. Okay, just a minute. Marcia, can you type the comments in again? Who did we say for the comments? Marcia and Cathy Jofi, right?
Yeah.
Because what happened is that there were so many comments and the comments strolled past. Yeah, we racked to 1018. So Marcia, can you copy and paste the comments in here again? And Cathy, let me say Marcia. Oh God, who is that? Hey man, Beam. Who is that one? Hey man, Beam. Oh God, them fellas run after. Oh God. Well, yes. Hey, Cathy and thing. Put the comments again. I'm gonna copy it and put it in a document because the thing scroll through very fast. Okay. All right. So hold on, Let me put my comments up on the screen. You know what? 10:24. Okay. Go ahead, Diana. Closing comments.
Yeah, I have a serious topic.
Yeah, go ahead. Hold on. Let me remove that from the screen. Hold on a minute. Marcia, I see your comments right here. I have it right here. 10:24. I'm gonna keep it up on the screen. So it don't scroll up. And look this fella comment.
Oh boy.
Read that.
You can move it down.
I ain't even gonna answer
that. Don't waste your time, man. Don't even engage.
Yeah. You're right.
Don't engage.
Yeah. Absolutely. I will leave it alone. It's better that way.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me scroll back up. 10:27, 10:28. Hold on. What the hell? Damn comments going, boy.
Oh dear.
Comments going again, Hold on, just a minute there. I'm looking for Marcia Brave Boy comments and the other person comments.
They're really far up.
Yeah.
Well, tell them just repost them if they're listening. Just repost them.
Oh,
Copy.
okay. I get it. Diana, go ahead. I get it. Wait,
Okay.
Diana. Kathy Jove, can you repost your closing comments, please? Repost your closing comments. Go ahead, Diana.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to address a serious issue that is happening in Trinidad and Tobago right now on the heels of the Imam Abu Bakr appearing on the show tonight. Unemployment, inflation, and extreme poverty have become serious issues in Trinidad and Tobago. What is extreme poverty? Extreme poverty exists when a person is denied the opportunity to lead a healthy and productive life. Extreme poverty is about the lack of opportunities. People living in extreme poverty cannot achieve their full potential because they lack things that most of us take for granted. These include healthcare, education, and the ability to find a good job. Poverty rapes and kills the spirit of the poor. We underestimate its complexity and cruelty. For a vast majority of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who are living in poverty right now and find difficulty in providing the most basic essentials for themselves, the future looks dismal. How can the society of Trinidad and Tobago be described as flourishing and happy when a bigger part of its population is languishing in misery, poverty due to social exclusion? However, feeling pity for the poor in the society is not enough. Proactive steps are supposed to be taken to eradicate this poverty in Trinidad and Tobago. The steps should be geared towards getting rid of misery and reducing the levels of inequality between the haves and the have-nots in the society. This should be considered as the primary core role of the government in power. I wonder how the haves in Trinidad and Tobago are able to enjoy a festive meal in their own houses, comfort, knowing very well that a poor, starving citizen, a child, resides in the community a stone's throw away. What needs to be done? Efforts must be made to work with people. Governments need to work with grassroots NGOs whose mission statements highlights the roots of extreme poverty and help expanding opportunities for the poor. The government is owed the responsibility of protecting the welfare of its citizens and its general well-being. This is because the government is entrusted with the human resource who make up the constituents to come up with policies that should be able to improve the constituents' lives and the general society as a whole. Human resource of Trinidad and Tobago should not be squandered. The children are the future, and because of ignorance, apathy, or deliberate neglect, this valuable resource is often left to squander in a household led by a single mother. COVID-19 has made poverty worse. Wasteful policies and mismanaged national resources in Trinidad and Tobago only jeopardizes the children of Trinidad and Tobago's future. This is Diana Benskin, aka The Storm. You in charge, MP Imbert, Dr. Keith Rowley. All of y'all need to get together, MP Cox, and fix this poverty situation and alleviate the burden, the pain that the people are feeling, especially your human resource, the future of Trinidad and Tobago, the children that are going back out to school, whose book lists cannot be filled by their parents. You all need to fill those book lists for free. I say so. I'm bidding you auf Wiedersehen until we meet again. Have a blessed evening, my beloved people.
And of course, that was no other than Diana Waveney Benskin. Diana Waveney Benskin McDonald. In the words of Frederick Douglass, power concedes not without a demand. It never did and never will. Find out just what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found out the exact measure of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them. And these will continue till they are resisted with either words or blows or with both. From where I sit, this is it, the clock on the wall, so that's all I like to say, but I've got to go. Remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. And for every 60 seconds of anger, you lose 1 minute of happiness. And closing comments from Marcia Brave Boy. Thanks for a great show, Ansem and Diana and Gary. Let's hope for the best for TNT, and the lights of Baka can now use its influence to help the suffering people of Trinidad and Tobago. Maybe Prime Minister Rowley will listen to the Iman as an easing up citizens. So let me see if I can find let me see if I find Cathy Jofield quote. Oh, here we go. And this is Cathy Jofield. Thanks for all partaking in the dark show tonight. Tune in 3 times per week. Don't miss a beat. Current and political affairs and opportunity for each and everyone. Blessed night to all. Thank you thank you so very kindly, Cathy. So I think and of course we say good night. We're gonna go out with a good one tonight by Gypsy. All I want to listen to this one. Good night. Yeah, we're going out with a good one tonight, Diana. Of course, we want to say thank you to Yasin Abu Bakr. Thank you so very kindly for joining us. We really appreciate you and appreciate what you had to share with all our audience. Thank you so very kindly. Diana, boy, we had a marathon tonight. All of you for me. Okay, to myself while I'm typing, huh? Hey, what happened to Tommy, boy?
I think he took out his son for his birthday, he said.
Oh, okay. He told us that, you know. Yeah. Yeah, Lana, we go play that next time. So good night to all of you. We're gonna go out tonight with we're gonna go out what? Leslie Bejun come in. And someone want to thank God for this day and night and bless everyone here now. Thank you so much. All right. We're gonna go out to with Gypsy tonight. This is a good one.
You see that a nation without a soul is like a ship that has lost its rudder. No nation at all. Born in a land of such great expectation, over the years I watched its deterioration. Just couldn't stand by idly and say it's a shame. Someone or something in this land has to be blamed. Politics for one and politicians for the other. Make sure the good of this land don't stay together. How could some place so good turn out so bad? Where is the love in this land that we once had? Somebody deep in the soul of a nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. thief in the soul of the nation. Somebody driving this country mad. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of the nation. Drug addiction and prostitution, teenage pregnancy have taken over my land. Much too much political corruption. Talk about race only cause more confusion. Who would ever try to put all these wrongs right? Too much frustration without no end in sight. Leader after leader put the nation under pressure, and ordinary people just have to run for cover, Lord. Somebody thief in the soul of the nation. Somebody gone with the love that we had. Somebody thief in the soul of the nation. Somebody driving my country mad. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of the nation. Work ethics keep on going down the drain. Young people today say they ain't working again. They tell you blatantly they ain't working no more. They tired work and can't see what they working for. Price in the groceries gone sky high. The goods on the shelf and poor people cannot buy. With morals and with money gone, we don't know where it went. This can never be happening by accident. Somebody thief in the soul of the nation. Somebody gone with the good out of my land. Somebody thief in the soul of the nation. We need to make so much more supplication. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of the nation. Everything wrong in this land today looks alright. Defended by those who we know should know better. Raping women in the land is a disaster, yet the punishment recommended drive them to anger. What in the world are we really coming to? Where do we go from here? What are we going to do? The laws in this place is nothing but a waste. Cannot be implemented. What a judicial disgrace. Somebody thief in the soul of the nation. Somebody gone with the morals of this land. Somebody thief in the soul of the nation. Somebody causing much too much frustration. And we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. I'm telling you, we, yes, you and me, we have to stop this conspiracy. Somebody thief in the soul of the nation. 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 Somebody thief in the soul of the nation.
9 FM, Maplewood, New Jersey, broadcasting from Essex County.